I'm sorry, but I need my mod view up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, 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 alright. Boop. So, tomorrow, as well as Monday, assuming there are no emergencies. We hope and pray for the wellness of Doggo. That no more Doggo-related catastrophes will interrupt. Myself and Miss Morrigan Nightshade should be playing the next in our Senior Detectives Let's Play series, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. But for now, we return to SportsballeRPG. Pew, pew, pew. Okay. Alright, hello and welcome back to the Blobber Plays Pyre. Thank you, Shabiggest. let's go. So we just arrived in the snow zone. Beyond lies Mount Alodiel. I suggest we make camp here at the base of the mountain. For we shall need our spirits and our strength to make the ascent. Discuss the plan. The Beyonder, Crystal, seeks Tizo. So we can do another upgradey thing. I'm always prepared to cut you idiots and their egos down to size. Who will it be? But, just a sec. It looks like you guys could also do with louder volume. Maybe more like that. Yeah, that looks better. Bird! Bird Imp gets his go. Okay. We should at least give him something. Sure, some more quickness. You ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Tizo. I dare think I remember something about the imp. He stood out from all his ilk. Although that really didn't say much. Well, let's bring him forth. Tizo appears in heat of the summons. He appears prepared for what lies ahead. I just realized I need my control shortcut key thing up, so give me one sec. Yeah. And then zoomy zoomy. There we go. The apparition appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, imp, you answer to me here. Tizo indicates his understanding and is prepared to begin the trial. You know the formalities. Show me what you have learned. Here in this trial, it will be just you and your lovely reader. Let us see how you fare. Ooh, well, we got insta-killed. And they are very quick. Also, the game suddenly decided to get like 5 times louder, so let's drop that volume back. Okay, we finally get a win back. But we can only lose once more. Okay, it all comes down to the last round. Can we... No, failure. We've not seen what happens if you fail. Is frustrated. It's not meant to be easy, even for the likes of you. I would tell you not to waste your time, but... well, my time is here for you to waste. Try again, sure. Yeah, Suicide Man really suffers from not having friends the most, eh? Mr. I explode to kill the enemies. Come on, I hit W for dodge. Boo! Well, they've definitely upped the difficulty. Nah, that's bull. Bull! Give it one more go. You can always come back and try later. Suck less, says the game. Got ya. Vengeance. Oh, but then they get it. I am surprised that didn't count as being in their aura, but okay. Ooh, we almost got it there. Oh, bull. Two more. Okay, that time we win. That's kind of bull. How it rubbed up against the edge of the curve instead of... Thank you. Sliding along it. One more. Wait, what? I thought they had two to get. Yeah, we came the closest we've ever come. We'll give it one more. I thought they still had two to go. If your exile is alone, try banishing your enemies. If I attack, we explode and die, game. I'm not sure that's good advice. That feels like it should have counted as hitting the green stuff, but okay. Okay, 1-all. That was my fault. I got too close to them. No. Oh, come on. That should have killed him. Bull! He was in my aura. There we go. Nah. Okay, we'll come back to this later. Not gonna butt my head against this endlessly. Anything else new? No, there's nothing else new. Discuss the plan. Earlier, Volfred called for a group meeting, presumably to reveal his plan in more detail, but he instead reveals some bad news. What are you saying? What I'm saying is that while you can indeed get yourself out of here, it can't be all of you at once. We earn our way back one by one. Not all at once. But I swore that we'd go free together. We may go free together yet, but it's gonna take time. This is only the first phase. You, Hedwyn, and the others exchange glances. Let me make this plainer. Here is how the coming days will unfold. We will ascend Mount Alodiel. To the north. You may not think the wagon is fit for it, but it will make the journey. It's made it many times. We'll pass through Scribe's Gate. Only the worthy pass, as your reader could attest, if he did not merely skim that chapter of the book. Afterwards, we'll reach the Fall of Solium and meet our adversaries in the riots. They are to be the Tempers, led by the demon Ignarius, the notorious demon leader of one of the most feared triumvirates in the riots. You'll know him when you see him. Both you and they shall choose someone from your respective ranks, and then, once the triumvirate prevails, someone will be whisked home to the Commonwealth. Whisked home? Exactly. Once returned, our somebody is taken in, clothed, and pardoned. The Commonwealth knows all about this, the same Commonwealth that says a sentence into exile is forever and freedom from the downside is impossible. Many of these details the scribes themselves wish to be kept secret. Former exiles and the leaders alike have good incentives to protect those secrets. Well then, that's it. We climb the mountain, someone goes back, and everyone else stays. For most of us, yes. But I like your connotation, and indeed for us, that it isn't it at all. If one of us returns, it shall be just a step along our path. Let us sit for now. Gather your strength. We'll talk again on the way up. He leaves you to consider what he's said. You have time now for your vocations. At dawn you will begin your ascent. So, do we want to? I think we keep working on our passive buffs. Passive buff by learning. We can have this or this. I mean, I think I'd prefer glory. But I'm not allowed it. I have to go for the wisdom one, it says. Okay. Mount Alodiel. Here before you lies Mount Alodiel, stretching far beyond your line of sight. Somewhere upon the mountain lies the only place from which you can escape. Your companions gather again before Volfred, who stands as tall as ever. Whether from the cold air or the subject now at hand, there is tension in the air. Now then, you have many questions. No, I've done a lot of talking, so go on, ask away. But there is only silence. One question stands in your mind, which you refrain from asking. If only one of you will go free, who shall it be? Don't be shy. Questions. Why us? Why indeed, ma'am? That I can explain. You've seen the sort you stand against as adversaries in the riots. What is it they want, you suppose? Their freedom. They'll settle for it on the Commonwealth's own terms. They'll gain their freedom and some cushy new responsibilities. Perhaps then they'll have a hand in sending still more exiles here to join us. Think on it. The Commonwealth rose from the ashes of a fallen empire thanks to the efforts of the first exiles who escaped this place via riots. It is the Commonwealth's first and proudest tradition to honour those ones who live to redeem their transgressions. They have a certain wisdom, do they not? But as for you, I've been looking for a certain set of dispositions for a good length of time. All I needed was someone appropriate to show up and to listen. I planted many eyes and ears throughout the land, whispering hints of this, absurd as it may sound. Someone with a certain faith and creativity to go for it. That someone proved to be Hedwin over there. He was tasked with seeking two trustworthy allies, an old buried wagon and a reader, invited to bring others for the ride, all sorts of different people. He gathered enough help, and he and his friends could be free. Long story short, but you know much of the rest. So why you? Because I've reason to believe you're not the sort to play right back into the Commonwealth's old hand. The riots are very exclusive. You're imposters in this little party. You could be the ones to break it up. Any more questions? Your head spins. You excuse yourself or keep listening. It's important. Volfred's explanations are a lot to take in. You feel compelled to absorb as much of what he's willing to tell you as you can. He prompts for further questions when Jadariel raises her voice. You mistook my meaning. I understand your plan, but I want to know why us? Why are we, among all others, chosen for this liberation riot? On a blooded moon at the fall of Solium, an exile from the prevailing triumvirate shall go free. Okay, so this is the someone gets to go home. Oh, I see. Well, it's simple. You are chosen, qualified. As the expression goes, it is what the scribes ordain, though in this case the expression is literally true. When the Eight created the rites, each one of them anointed certain other exiles to participate on their behalf, exiles who showed some promise of redemption. The triumvirates they formed have stood the test of time, replenishing their numbers as individuals moved on or passed on. You've met them as they are today, the accusers, the withdrawn, and so on. The 8 scribes also formed a special group, against which all others would be judged. They called them the Nightwings. You bear their books, wear their masks, and their raiments. You need but show up to the rites, you see. The other erstwhile ones jockey for position, for a chance to take you on. What if we don't? What if we don't show up? And you would deny yourself a chance at freedom, and deny it also to your adversaries. Victory means nothing in a common right then. Participation is all that matters. Not so, only the enlightened may regain their freedom. Failure can be an excellent teacher. The scribes do value the trait. So you see, those who do not conduct the rites, or do not prevail in them sufficiently, may find themselves barred from the liberation rites, but these are mere technicalities. The Nightwings disbanded years ago, since then no one has gone free. And still the other triumvirates pressed on, with fleeting hope that one day you would be back. It is a heavy price to pay in all of this. Now if you'll excuse me, we'll talk again later. Some murmur to themselves all about this as Volfred takes his leave. Others reconnoiter pathways leading up the mountain and present you with options. The Emperor's Ascent, or the Emperor's Fall. I'd prefer the item to the one-off blessing. Money is forever. You join Pamitha on a brief expedition to find the valuable dropped and those who tried to scale the mountain but did not succeed. I will join you. Huh? 2 chaperones, but okay, I'm game, whatever. Be silent, bird, and fetch the trinkets. So full of bitterness. You really ought to make the most of these, your last precious moments that we share. And you ought not to mince your words. Oh, please. We all know you're going to be the first one out of here, so why not quit your constant frowning for a change? I, the first one, of course. It's plain the others pity you. You've been here longer than the rest of us by far. Besides, maybe that Volfred, though he seems plenty happy here, making his speeches. How dare you? How dare you presume? Nothing is decided yet. No doubt, though if by some coincidence you do end up selected for the honor, I want you to know something. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, hope we prevail on your behalf. That way you will be free. Of me, at least. And I, in turn, won't have to suffer your hideous attitude. Towards me and towards everything else. At that you intervene. Jadariel's eyes burn with fury. And then she calms herself. See you in the wagon, reader. Pamitha scoffs, and Jadariel storms off. I swear, that one. We should get moving, there's something sparkling down there. She swoops out of sight, leaving you alone on the mountain, and then returns, with something that lay long forgotten in the rocks below. Titan's Tooth. After blocking an airborne adversary, the bearer briefly stuns them and knocks them back. Hedwyn? No, Sacred Waters sounds like a blessing. So we'll go with Hedwyn's way. That might also be a blessing, but it sounds less likely. You and Hedwyn talk in silence for some time as he conducts a customary survey of the area. Well, my friend, no sign of howlers, as Jody would say, no sign of anything at all, though you sense something is troubling him. That is just... I've been giving lots of thought to everything Volfred told us. In another couple of days, one of us may be gone. Or, I don't mean to put it that way, one of us could go free, and earn our way back, one by one, as he said. You want to know something, the others and I, we've talked it over. When the time comes, we want you to decide. This might all be part of Volfred's plan, but we got here thanks to you. And even though I'm worrying right now about us splitting up, if Volfred has his way, all of us will meet up on the other side. It won't be a day. Worst case, we keep failing in the rites and we'll be stuck down here. The two of you walk on in silence for a time. When at last you return to the wagon, Hedwyn turns to you again. Thank you for the company, I think I'm feeling better. You and your companions gather at Scribe's Gate, where a single narrow trail to the summit narrows even more, and falls under an archway carved of stone. Come along, everyone, and be prepared to speak your mind when you are called. Most of you still lack enlightenment, but we may pass together how much we act as with a single heart and mind during the rites. Well then, lead onwards, Tariq. Follow me. Removing his hat, the lone minstrel approaches the gate and the others follow. When the last of your companions near the arch, you notice someone standing high above, who then appears before you. She eyes the lone minstrel. Is that you, Tariq? It is. Greetings, Celeste. How was your rest? It was too long. It seems your work has piled up in the meantime, for you to bring so many here. Yes. Then let's make it quick. She gestures towards you. Each of you, state who you are and what you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. Do as she says without question. Your fellow exiles exchange glances but quickly comply. I am Hedwyn the Deserter. I come seeking freedom for myself and my companions, so that I can return to be with the one whom I love. The woman bids him forward, and the lone minstrel prompts Ruki to speak up. I'm regarded by the name of Ruki Greentail. I just want to get out of here, I guess, with my chums, preferably. Go see Mama back home. I am Captain Jadariel. I do not truly know as yet what I am seeking here. My name is Bay. I'm here, I think, because the scribes have called me. It must be them, because if not, then who? Scree! Tizo seeks to live up to the Nightwing's legacy, and maybe see the Commonwealth someday. Sir Gilman of the Sea Dominion at your service. This knight is on a quest to find his honor. He lost it at a certain point. Hamatha Thane. I'm only here because my sister's here. And as Volfred steps forward, the one called Celeste raises her voice. You I recognize from the Nightwings of past. You are not clad in the raiments any longer. I would know why. I had my chance, the Nightwings that stand before you. I travel with them as a pilgrim. I see. Why are you here? I am Volfred Sandalwood. I seek liberty for each of us so that one day we might all stand shoulder to shoulder on the other side, to bring our freedom to the people there. She turns to you, and there is no one left. I'm a crippled scholar, a farmhand, a war orphan. I don't know who I am. Yup, we admit it. The one called Celeste continues to examine you, expecting you to add to your response. Yeah, I want to help our friends, why not? The companions that you've met here who you've helped to survive, your priority is to ensure that they achieve their goals. She waves you by. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. And Tariq? Be on your way as well. He bows his head, puts his hat back on. He does not look back at her. From the top of Mount Elodial, you see the distant downside before you. You think on the thousands of leagues you cross to reach this point as the sky grows dim. Page revealed, the mercy shown. Are you trying to talk to me? Jadariel appears to be prepared for whatever has come, though it is not yet dark. She already is in her raiments. Hedwin joins her, also looking ready. Is there any sign of Ruki? None as of yet. He complained about chafing on the collar of his mask. Our freedom might be hanging on that collar, then. I'm certain that it is, and they share a laugh together. The 3 of you exchange glances, but nothing is said or needs to be said. If Volfred is to be believed, one of you may regain your freedom. What did I miss? Am I late? Is it starting? Easy, Ruki. We've got a little time. How fare your struggles with the mask? It feels a lot better, thank you. I just had to smash it repeatedly against a wall for a little bit. Put some of the old nerves to bed. Though, is this really happening? One of us might be getting out of here? By dawn, in fact, if all goes well. That's one way to look at it, I guess. What are you getting at? Well, it's just, we might be breaking up the band. If one of us gets out, it's been bugging me for a while. I thought we were all getting out at once. Some of us, we might not be getting out of here at all. Hedwin slams a fist. Not if I can help it. We made a promise to each other. The 4 of us, we're all getting out of here. I care about the others. We've been through a lot. I want you to know my promise is to you, and I believe you will do the same for me. If any one of us gets out, great, but it's only the beginning. We're going to do whatever it takes to make it so the rest of us can get back too. What, you think you're going to build a bridge down here if we ask nice or something? I don't know, but we'll have to try. Reader, we will find a way. Ruki turns. Hedwin, gaze never once falters. It's about time, let's go. They close the door. The fall awaits, a vital step in your quest for freedom. Yet you feel in your heart that it will be only the first. And new book chapter. The imp Haub and I, we helped to save my emperor. When the danger did subside, my emperor, Solium Mer, he said something to me, which shook me to the essence of my being. He said, I gave you your freedom, Master Golthanum, so that I may yet have mine. You too now are an exile of downside. In all the days which I have left, I never could repay the mercy you have shown me. If I cannot do so in this life, I shall do it in the next. We crossed the land together, and together with the imp we gained the company of those who saw in him what I do. And Slugma? You're here because I got the lowest prices in all Downside, am I right? And some of the new stuff I've got in stock, well, they're getting pretty valuable. There are a bajillion bits of Stardust. Although some of them cost different costs, which is interesting. Unlearn. Ooh! We've found the respec item. I mean, it's cheap to buy these than these, but we have basically no money anyway. Yep, I like that we've leveled that up one more. And then who are we going to fight with? Now, in one sense, you're going to want to use your strongest people to make the fight the easiest. But in another, you don't want to get rid of all of your strongest people, right? So you probably want, like, one weak person and two strong people. I think I would want to send... Who do I like the least? She has the least interesting dialogue. I think I'd want to get rid of her. And who does she match well with? I guess these three? She's essentially replacement him. So you, and... Oh, actually, that makes her quicker than Dog Guy. All right. Let's go. Is everyone prepared? Several of us have another question that has been troubling us. You said one of us would return if we defeated the Tempers. What happens if we fail? Don't you see? The path to freedom and the path to enlightenment are one and the same. Do you intend to stray? No? Then you have nothing to fear. Let me be more upfront. Should you be defeated, then one of them will go free instead of you. That is it. Then what is to be done? The very same as if we achieve victory, we wait on the next such opportunity and make the most of it. Our plan is now in motion. We are united in our cause. We shall look as ever towards the stars for guidance. Look up and set aside your doubts. It is time to take great strides along the path. We get some pipe organ music.
Many years have passed since last the Nightwings gained the summit of the sacred mountain and stood upon the fall of Solium. You are to be commended for your guidance, reader, but only if you can prevail in this liberation rite. Here you stand to gain much more than some enlightenment. Your adversaries are none other than the Tempers. I trust they need no introduction. Soon, one among you shall regain their freedom.
The pyres burn and each is present and prepared. I concur. Then, anointed one of the Tempers, come forth and declare yourself, pay respects to the Nightwings. A massive demon swaggers into view, reaching for their mask. You know who I am? Look at what we got here. The damn Nightwings decided to show up. Almost figured we were never going to see the day. You, he indicates Jadariel, lose the mask. Ain't seen one of our own in ages. Not in these damned robes. Jadariel's hesitation is almost imperceptible before she moves to remove her mask, as asked. Satisfied? You must be new. They put their mask back on. Enough talk. I like you, Curly Horns. Tell you what. Once we put out your lights, you come along with these guys. We'll have a spot open. Only shame is I ain't gonna be around to show you a good time. I'd rather cut out my tongue. You don't mean that. We should stick together. Come on now. He throws his mask back on and his allies snarl at you. Who will we use? Reader, this is it. The first companion you choose shall be anointed to go free. The other two shall aid them. Only the most enlightened are eligible to go free. Not all among you may be ready.
Who most deserves their freedom?
Okay, so it cares about who is equal highest level, and therefore I cannot get rid of girl. Well, if I'm forced to choose between dog, bird, and guy, I think I'd rather get rid of the bird. Her thing is only useful for her. Would I not prefer the quickness? Probably. And we want to use you as much as possible.
Tizo.
3. The Gate Guardian looks upon them. Well then, under the watch of the 8 scribes, here are the stakes. Should you prevail, Tizo will be liberated. Else, Ignarius will go free.
Who shall be at his
Choose
side?
the rest of the team. You.
Edwin.
Should probably be her.
Jodariel. The choice is cast.
Very well, the 8 scribes accept your choices. She then indicates to the lone minstrel, are you prepared? Yes, let us begin. We've been waiting a long time to get out of here. Try and stop me.
Commence.
Bull. Bugger. That should have gotten both of them. And yet it did not. Sucks to be me. Ugh. Okay. Sprint, sprint, sprint. Big dunk. Good. Banish one and all. During a rite, banish all 3 adversaries. Achievement unlocked. Go, little guy! Okay. Run, 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 run. Dunk, and we get some of our health back. Good for nothing, Nightwings. Skip out for years and years and show up like you're gonna let someone out. But now we're gonna work for it. I used to be the best. At this at least, but now the pressure's getting to me. I can't believe it. Oh, Moira, I doubt you'd recognize me anyway. Okay, that didn't quite go as I would have hoped.
Your exiles all are banished, I'm afraid. Poof.
Why didn't it do the attack? Yeah, that's bull. I clicked for her to do the wave attack and it didn't do it. Grumble, grumble.
Oh, so close. Banished, one and all.
Okay, dunk.
In the name of Solium.
One more and we win.
Once more like that and we are finished here.
Fly. Fly. Sprint. Ooh, close but not quite.
Unacceptable.
Nope. Alright.
Good.
Fly. Or not. Fly. Just walk it in.
There it is.
Using Teasel, deal 200 damage during the campaign.
To their worth.
Home free, prevail in a riot. Achievement unlocked.
Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus the scribes have chosen. The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free.
Bye-bye, birdie.
Absolved of all misdeeds. Return to glory in the Commonwealth.
How a bird that no one can understand is going to
shall remain
forward our plans in the real world is interesting.
their rightful sentences.
Ah, what a joke. We should have had this. You got rusty. You've been waiting for so damn long. Damn it. See you around, I guess. Next time you won't be so lucky. Free? He looks around as the reality of what transpires sinks in. He realizes this is goodbye, at least for a time. He struggles to express the gratitude he feels as having served with the Nightwings. He also doesn't know what to expect from the Commonwealth and whether he will be accepted, but vows to keep doing all he can to be of benefit to Volfred's plan. With that, he splashes into the shimmer pool and is gone from view. You hear him chirping one final time. He wishes you the best and that you remember him. He has earned his freedom.
The 8 scribes are ever merciful.
Hail,
By
Talmeggio.
their grace, the cycle of the rites may soon commence again.
Okay. So, Edwin and Jadariel. Level up, level up. Everyone else gains some. I will level up better next time.
Until the turning of the stars, farewell.
After your victory over the Tempers, you return to your wagon to decide how to proceed. It's hard to believe Tizo is gone, but look on the bright side, we have one less mouth to feed. We'll see Tizo again if we persevere. Our journey has only just begun. We need to make a few preparations while we're here. What about the stars? Can we afford that time? Well, reader, go see for yourself. The sky over Mount Elodial is darker than you would have expected. Your thoughts are with Tizo as you look to the heavens. Okay, where is the start of the new cycle? I don't see anything. There are no stars shining. The stars revealed nothing, did they not? As the book foretells, there is a chance that we may need to make ready for what lies ahead. There's a haven south of here we'll travel to at dawn, and when the stars decide to shine, we will be ready. Mark my words. Bay wants to talk? You find Bay minding her own business in the wagon, talking to herself, or perhaps to the wagon's walls. But most of all, I think I'm going to miss the little chirping sounds. He woke me up with them sometimes. Yes, he'd keep waking me up. He sure was a good friend to the both of us, right, little brother? You knew him better than I did. Much better, I would think. You must miss him too. She spreads her arms against the wall. I understand. The drive imps up there, they're sad about it too. Or maybe some are happy. More food for them to share, and they like food. Tizo sure did. I wonder if he'll like the food back home. It's different, so maybe he won't, but then again, he does eat almost anything. Oh, this must be so exciting for him, and I know the scribes, they shall be watching over him. Still, I think maybe they love him best of all. I can't wait to hear what he thinks of it all, and I think for sure that he will help with Mr. Sandalwood's big plan. That's the great thing about Tizo, little brother. No matter where he goes, he always helps. He always helps. And she bounds off without acknowledging your presence even at all. You sense that she's found some inner peace despite being separated from her friend. Tizo. You hope by now that he has found a safe passage in the Commonwealth. River frost, a keepsake from Sklorian shore, so cold it burns the skin, but it does help keep the wagon cool and food fresher longer. Good morning, my boy. The place I noted earlier, let me illuminate the way. The Moonlight Alcove. Volfred leads all of you into a calm and quiet clearing tucked away inside one of the mountain's hidden folds. All about, you see a variety of strange items and equipment. Bide your time. No, someone else wants to talk. You find him lost in thought, but he turns to you. Greetings, the wagon and I, we have many memories together, and I couldn't help reliving some of them. Just now, I suppose some aspects of my past may be of relevance to you given your role, but there's something that you may wish to know. If there is, you need but ask. Why did they disband? I've been connected to the Nightwings almost since the beginning of my days in exile. They found me, in a manner, as I understand, quite like how Hedwyn and the others found you. It was a smaller group than we have now. I joined an exile called Arissa, a former exile of the Nightwings, who conducted the rites alongside Volfred and Aurelek, the other known as Aurelek. Once in a while, we let little Tizo stand with us as well. He's rather older than he looks. The others we stood against feared us, only the Tempers were any threat. But there was an accident. Arissa, we lost her. And Aurelek, he was my friend, well, he fell from Mount Elodiel. We lost him as well, on the night we were to be free. We were reckless and hasty, and I was powerless to stop any of it. I blamed the rites themselves, the circumstances that put us in danger. The downside has claimed many lives, yet this it was too much. I vowed never again to don the mask and raiments. I had the black wagon cleared and buried so that it couldn't be used again. If the Nightwings would rise again, it would be under different circumstances. New leadership, and towards a new purpose. That is all I wish to say of it, my boy. How do you know the Lone Minstrel? You asked Volfred about the history of the Lone Minstrel, whom he seems to know quite well. Tariq was there with the Nightwings when they took me on. His manner has always been as you see it now. Though he's a bit more cheerful now than I recall back then, if you can believe it. I think our plan has sparked some fire in him. He serves the rites and the Nightwings. I've tried to ask him of his past, but he's reluctant to speak of it. It's plain that he's not from around here. I respect his wishes for privacy. Nonetheless, although I do not know too much of him, I count him as a friend. I lost track of him for some time, though it was he who first informed me that the Nightwings had returned. He and Tizo were instrumental in our meeting. It's good to see him doing relatively well. Anyway, was there anything else you wished to talk about for now? Nope, I don't want to know about your, why you were, that seems like it's rather impolite to ask. Why he was sentenced, thank you for your time. You bid him a good rest of the afternoon. And likewise to you, reader. Everyone, the amenities are modest here at the Moonlight Alcove, but I suggest you get comfortable. We might be here for a while. I have business to attend to. I'll leave the wagon. Please leave the wagon in my care. It will be ready when you need it next. From the mountaintop, you can see all across Downside. Its impossible expanse staring back at you. The thought occurs to you that you might never see another land besides it. And so you wait upon the mountaintop in quiet solitude, anticipating when the cycle of rites begins to turn again. And you will have another opportunity to free one of your own. You may earn back their freedom one by one. Many moons pass, and then one evening... Can I have a moment, reader? The Lone Minstrel finds you poring over the rite book, as has been your leaning through your stay at this abode. Is there something... I have something you may wish to see. Please follow me. You follow him into the cold night. Look forth. The stars shine like you have never seen. Once more, the path towards salvation is revealed, but something is different. There's a big black hole? Each prior time you searched the stars, they showed you a single path. But now, several rights avail themselves. We gain the ability to choose what direction we go. Well, we can go fight the bog people again, why not? The stars urge us to go to the pit of Milthy. Millith? How are we to reach it? You know, preparations are complete. You think you see the lone minstrel smile faintly, but you can't be sure. Ask the others to gather their belongings, rest, and assemble with the wagon at dawn. We will depart then, as you will. The cycle begins anew. As the years advanced, you'll find there ought to be fewer rites, until, once more, we are to traverse to the Scribe's Gate. Exactly how many, it's difficult to say, but our next chance at liberty would present itself sooner than last. Be ready for it. See you in the morning, reader. Your companions haven't travelled far from the alcove. Word of the news spreads through the group. The next morning, Walfred calls everyone together before the wagon. This old wagon is more than it appears. With Bertrude's aid, it will escort you across the sea. It escorted you across the sea to me, and now it will escort us anywhere the stars require. Come and see. It becomes a spaceship or an airplane or something? Something has changed in the wagon's interior. What looked before to be old cracks and signs of age expose intricate components once hidden from view. You are the Nightwings. You should travel in their customary way. He turns to you, indicating levers and devices marked with the symbols of the book. Whenever you're ready. And everyone else, well, just hang on. Take off? Yeah, we've become flying. After having soared into the sky, the wagon remains aloft. Now we're talking. By the scribes. Impossible. The Nightwings sail the skies once more. Whosoever the stars, wheresoever the stars call them. There is one catch. The downside provides few locales suitable for landing. Although we should find at least a couple of places near where we're going. We'll then make way by land or sea towards our destination. Okay. Hold shift to boost. The gloom hangs thick above the pit of Millith. And all around it, you're brave to seek your adversaries here again, reader. Many, in the downside, believe it to be nothing other than a foul den. They take the tales of your slack astralborn to be mythology, embellished through retelling over time. You've met others, such as Witch Udmilhe, who believe otherwise, although whichever their beliefs, I know of none who would go near this place unless the stars demand it. Thus shall your coming right against the accusers take place in secrecy, as all the rights have. Okay, we can land here, or here, or here. Does it make a difference? Yes, it modifies who we talk to. So we can earn some Stardust, or move quickly. Sure, we'll earn more resources, why not? You return to the dismal region known as the Flagging Hands. Straight away, you sense an air of dread. You cling to hope that you can make your stay as brief as possible. You and the others check the wagon from top to bottom for signs of wear. Pamitha double-checks the air brakes and reports they work as expected. Ruki finds a cabin pressurizer acting up again. A cause of some concern. A swift kick makes the problem go away for now, leaving you all with some time to yourselves. Nonetheless, the dismal environs soon begin to take a toll. Boop. We have a new rite. For who, though? Ah, okay. Well, so be it, Hedwyn. You ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Hedwyn. Ah, the Nomad boy. So innocent, that one. I'll have a lot of work to do with him. Well, bring him forth. Soon, Hedwyn appears, in heed of the summons. My friend, what goes on? Nomads have well-balanced abilities, but no exceptional advantages. Sandra appears. Her mask unfastens. Listen well, boy. You answer to me here. Understood. You are a fool. Don't talk back. Your reliance on your friends is such a burden upon them. Let us see what you can do without their aid. Save for that of your lovely reader there. And we face a trio. Mutually assured destruction. Oh, but they zoomy past us. Oh, come on. Double failure. That really barely seems fair. Like, they tracked me with amazing speed. Okay. Intercepted. Zoom. But not good enough. Definitely not good enough. Bro. Caught! Oh, come on. Really doesn't seem fair that it's 3-on-1. Failure. That did not go well. Try again. But whatever. In 1 versus 1 is maybe doable. Okay, and we recover some of our own. Using a Hedwyn, deal 200 damage during the campaign. My throw was intercepted. Good, 2 dead. Port! No! Oh, come on! Boo! Oh well. Ah, dodges through us. Okay. We tempt them far enough away from their goal. We did it! It seems you did, boy. Your performance was sufficient. Congratulations are in order. Now farewell. Good to be back. What do you have there? His special item. His special item is... he gains infinite stamina on hit for 2... Okay, so if you kill someone, he can run like crazy. Sure. Once I too roamed free. I remember well those days in which I was called Chief. I travelled all the world over on my 4 good paws, and I was well adored. I wanted to grow stronger. Here at last I shall not mince any words. This place shall either harden you or kill you. It will haunt you with old memories. You share the exile's plight. My charge is to alleviate the sting of it for you a little bit, and to prolong your stay, but only for as long as needed. Your charge is to return. We call this place the Downside for a reason, but in time here you can learn to eat, to seek out shelter, and to find a certain beauty in unlikely places. The Wakewood Wisps. They provide a source of light. All for a low monthly fee. The book also seems to want us to do something else. In the words of Molten Milth, the Wild Witch, years of longing, years we spent distilling life essence from many things, which all once writhed under the auspices of their own mortality, which we ourselves cut short. In this we have no regrets. We learned much, and so we think did they. We earned the title Witch and were forced to flee into the Downside. Here we encountered Salam Mur, and soon gained an understanding of each other. He bade us circumnavigate these lands and catalogue our findings. We felt a strong desire to expose the secrets of the land. We wished to yield benefit to those who followed in our wake. Indulge us both then. Does that count as... well, that would be drinking the essence rather than the distillation process. Is there more that I need to do? It looks like there's even more. Beyond the valley lies the Flagging Hands, which could be called a swamp if an entire sea could merely be a lake. Soon after our arrival, several of us fell into a dark despair. Such were the environs. I found it fascinating, though. It held aspects reminiscent of the southern bogs we dwelt in as a... tad? I want to know what that word is. Yeah, tad. I don't know that word. Other than, like, a little bit of something, a tad. We grew accustomed to the dampness of the air and grew to savour certain twigs and beetles. It can be said the flagging hands are an acquired taste, recommendable only for those of our same bent, or perhaps the downside's native imps. The sea surrounded the environ on 3 sides, and appeared insurmountable at first. Okay, I think I meant to look through all of these. Celestial landmarks. Do you feel a kinship with the stars? You owe your everything to them, perhaps one day even your freedom. I chased the stars across the river of my genealogy, until they led me here. I demanded they explain to me the paradox of knowledge. For how is it that something can be shared but still contained within ourselves in its entirety? The stars didn't respond, but set me on a quest. I sought the 9 landmarks, which they revealed to me, so that someday I would reveal their mysteries to you. These landmarks, emissaries of the stars, are 9 lenses through which we see the land, and see ourselves in a new light. At first, I found it much too difficult to read, much less to write, even to grasp the quill. But the Horned One, Myr, implored me. He said this is the greatest gift that he could give me in return. In return for what, I asked. In return for his life, he said. But I did not save your life, I said. You did. We fight about this still. Myr is stubborn, even more so than I. Now, herein, and by his leave, I chronicle the 9 triumvirates, for I am of this land, unlike the rest, who wish to leave. We knew not everyone could leave who wanted. Seldom would the opportunity arise. Thus did we organize those striving for the chance unto 9 sets of 3. On the Commonwealth. We, the 8, assembled here together in the downside, and gave our freedom. We gave our freedom so that you may yet have yours. It is an exchange we have not lightly made. It is my chance to ensure that you, should you regain your freedom, first off recognize its qualities and also use it wisely. You do not need a pair of wings in order to be free. Only my own wings, I once thought that they could take me anywhere, and then they took me here, where I am now bound. It is your charge to be free, and not to make the same mistakes. Spring from here, and learn from what I did, and build a new and great society, a free society with wings spread wide for everyone. Okay, is the book gonna stop? Really? You think there's something else? Alright. Staining the summit of the sacred Mount Elodial involved... scaling involved no small amount of sacrifice and sorcery in varying proportion. The mountain's energies were palpable. The sensations that we felt, indescribable. The lands we stood on were closer to the stars than to the world we knew. It was upon this highest point in all the downside that we first made efforts to concoct this tome, which you now read. It was there that we were stricken with a vision of the cycle of the rites, and felt, together, for the first, a sense of freedom unlike any we experienced before. But that's a subject for which our comrades shall illuminate in greater detail. And more, and more, and more. What can be said about the sisters of the Ark, whom we banished to the great beyond, for deeds irredeemable? Suffice it that the details of their banishment are written in the book. The sisters and the book became inseparable, not unlike the stars, their light, and the infinite darkness that engulfs them. The stars communicate to us, and you, in turn. The words within the book are but an edifice, a simple surface. Look past the text to the hidden meaning, to the hidden power. The stars above, as they are not mere lights, they are not mere words. If you chance upon the sisters of the Ark within their prison here, give them our thanks. And finally, we've exhausted the book. You follow the lone minstrel in pursuit of what you came to find. The bog dwellers of the Flagging Hands are some of the only creatures that can stand it here, and even then, only just barely. This particular region is the agricultural heart of the area, but as you can see, there is little left to harvest. Perhaps, though, you can help them plant a stronger crop. The lone minstrel leads you to a sad patch of mud, leans down and speaks to the earth. Hail, O bog dweller, I have brought you a reader. Tell him what you need. Some sort of creature shambles forth. With broken hands, it points you to a collection of foul seeds and simple garden tools. It is a work familiar to you, and to your surprise, the soil is rich and fertile. Grains and other crops could grow. The planting job proves simple enough. It is almost a relief after all of your travels. It's a modest effort on your part, and yet the bog dweller seems elated. As much as can be said of such a creature. It insists on paying you for your assistance. It gives us some stardust. But now Sir Gilman wants to talk. Sir Gilman is shivering there after the Black Wagon's maiden voyage through the skies. Master Reader, this knight is very, very slightly out of sorts. He merely appears terrified, but he assures you that his cowardice is but an illusion. Pamatha joins you. Flying isn't for everyone, Sir Knight. This knight heartily concurs, though how anyone can stand it he has yet to understand. Well, let's see. What's it like to swim the waters of the Dominion? Ah, the glorious, murky waters, engulfed in hideous warfare to be sure, but otherwise a joy to cut across, to feel the coolness of the waves beneath one's gill slits, and the like. Though this knight is now accustomed to his life above the surface, flying is just the same. It resists those not born to it. I, in turn, have wondered what your seas are like, but the thought of swimming fills me with disgust. Though I haven't had to swim, and now you have had to fly. It's so brave of you. You handled it better than some harpy fledglings that I met in my day. You'll get used to it. She departs, but you sense Sir Gilman feels better after the exchange. Okay, and we are done. Or not, because the book has yet more it wants to tell us. We found each of the others in true due time, by fate, not by coincidence. The wise Lusclorian stood among the trees, gazing at the stars, expecting us. The wild witch, Milth, was so enthralled by my liege's utter transformation, she stayed her sorceries. Blessed-born Tresta swooped down upon us, but to warn of imminent attack. The many-maned Jamur thus intervened, and shared with us his humour and his hunt. Even the Underking ones. The Underking, Onez himself, not ones, sought out an audience with us. Thus we became the 8, and journeyed on together. And yet there is more. If there is one celestial landmark in which I would never again wish to tread, unless of course the stars beseeched me to it, it has to be the pit. 'Twas dark in there beyond reckoning. If not for Milith's sorceress lantern, all of us would have been lost. What lies within the pit is not to be invoked, although I have no doubt our goodly Underking shall be unable to prevent himself from boasting of how Milth sealed it here for an entire age. The thing yet lies there, on the edge of death, though its connection to the stars, through its connection to the stars, it gives the pit significance. Walk there with courage and a steady mind. And Ruki wants to talk? Hey chum, you know what? It's good having someone else around besides those two. Come to think of it, there's something I wanted to get your take on. And you have to promise to tell me honestly. Would you say... Ugh, he hesitates trying to find the words. What I'm trying to say is, you sense something troubling him. He moves close, making sure no one else is in earshot. It's about my moustache. I've gotten some conflicting reports. Would you say that it makes me look a bit unscrupulous? It is handsome, it gives him a distinguished look. Something about it makes him appear less trustworthy, and perhaps less youthful. He stares up at the ceiling for several moments and breathes a sigh. I'll be right back. He scurries away. You hear him making a racket. Oh, no! He got rid of it! Just as you... I just had to take care of something real quick. If you'll excuse me, I've got to go check the wheels again. Ah, we're a monster. We made him get rid of his lovely moustache. We're too poor for anything. Okay, and then who are we going to use? I should use you. He has no presence though, so we probably want someone with decent presence. Which would be you. So we use you. Well, I also kind of want to use these so that we get their enlightenment bonus. Yeah. So her... You probably want this because your hope is garbage. And we gave you the instant ability to kill enemies, so we'll give you the we can earn more money with you thing, I think. Let's go. Well, at last. I have every faith in your abilities. We've faced the accusers before. I think I know what they can do. I wish you good fortune. Little else is said, and together you watch the celestial harmony in calm and silence. Just a sec, I need to get the lights.
Reader.
All right.
Ever persevering, aren't we? Well then, rejoice, because the cycle of the rites begins anew. Perhaps you'll liberate another soon enough. Your chosen adversaries here shall be the accusers. Reduce their flame to ash, just as you did when last you met. Now, who exactly?
Saturday sports. You. We're ready for you. Come, let us crush them and be done quickly. Okay. Each time you face them, they gain talismans and masteries. Do not underestimate them.
Let us begin.
Okay, you.
Sir Gilman.
You. And you.
It is done.
Come, we're prepared for you. Now, little guy is supposedly mad quick.
The orb now begin.
Yes, yes he is. He is insanely speedy. And we can just flap it in.
Douse the flame.
2 for 2.
Pyre on on each side burns just as true.
Oh, I bounced off the edge of the map a bit strongly. Oh, that's my bad.
Shame. You seem unable to stop these people.
Yeah, we bounce off the edge too much again. Okay.
Absolution. The two flames now burn equally as bright. Verily. Let's see you Nightwings keep this up.
Flappy, flappy, flappy. Except they made us drop it. Okay, flappy. No, they really don't want me flappying my way to victory. There we go.
Glory to the scribes.
Not again. I can't lose again. This can't be happening. No.
With grace.
Flappy, flappy.
Remember everything which you hold dear.
One more and we win. And we're back to Speedy Worm. No. Oh, so close. Meh, 1 for 1 is acceptable.
The orb, take it.
Zoom. Oh, you caught up to me a bit quicker than I would have liked.
All three Nightwings.
But now it's 3v2. Mutually assured destruction? Yes.
Tata Lendl.
And win.
And it is done. The Nightwings prevail again. A rite conducted with aplomb.
We level up our B team.
The rite is complete.
Blast! That a decorated constable of the Commonwealth should end up having to consort with fools such as these in these accursed robes in these miserable circumstances. Those damn scribes certainly exist, for it's clear they have no love of me, or anyone of decent birth and station. Our adversaries seem no stranger to defeat, and yet he wears it without dignity. Maybe we just have to get to know him better, and maybe then he's nicer than he seems.
Bask now in the wisdom of the scribes.
Okay, the A-team get bonus experience in the
The
future.
moon-touched girl has
And-
greater understanding than it seems.
The 8 scribes inspire me. I feel like I've grown closer to them. So we're trying to earn our way to this, that she can sprint without using stamina. No, I never use salute, so we'll go with the other thing.
Desperate for honor, this Sir Gilman may yet learn something.
Huzzah! Great wisdom clouds over this knight's consciousness. Okay, which tree do we want? If he kills someone, he deals more damage. Or if he attacks, he gets all his run back. Saluting makes everyone stunned for 3 seconds? That sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm tempted to try and find out what that, if that actually freezes them in place.
Perhaps can learn the errors of her
Well,
kind.
Tamitha, soon you'll be catching up. I'll soon be catching up with you like this, whether you like it or not. And Bird Lady, do we want fly faster? Can dash repeatedly? She teleports when she salutes. Teleports swapping places with an ally. Hail, Pizza Nod. Welcome. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. After you kill someone, you move quicker. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, so do you want super quickness or do you want to make her well-rounded? This seems like the better... Like, +4 to all is better than +8 to 1. How is this? It's tricked me into playing a sports ball game. I thought it was a combat game, and it's actually sports ball. Yeah, we'll go with the attacky one.
Of the eldest matriarch. Until the stars align.
You return to the wagon after you and your exiles have vanquished the accusers. You find Volfred waiting. Well done. You're serving your companions well. I have something I want to share with you. We've discussed the plan of which we're all a part. I have a means of measuring our progress. I'd like for you to look at it. Let's first determine where the rites may take us next. Look forth. I expect you shall again see several shining stars, where once you saw but one. But we will find out about where we are proceeding next time. Mwah. I need a quick break, refill my drink, maybe have a cookie. I will be back in about a minute. We'll get back to it. Yeah. Okay. And go! Hello and welcome back to the Marvel Plays Pyre. We just completed the first fight of Season 2. We're about to find out where we're going next. Jamur, Lu, or Orez? Several stars, a trick of the eye or the will of the scribes, who can say? I too once gained this newfound vision many years ago, following my first liberation rite, and I believe only we of the Nightwings have this gift. I realize that in choosing whom the Nightwings confront, we in turn influence which triumvirate we face when the time comes for someone to be set free. The object I invite you to use contains more details. He has a planner! Sure, let's look at it. Using the planner, you may assess your progress towards your ultimate goal, as well as check the current standings against your adversaries. He will keep this information up to date. You may look over it now, or anytime you're in the wagon, or while searching the stars. Okay, so this is difficulty? And yet, no, okay, wins versus losses. So the Pyre hearts are supposedly the easiest. And we need to find a new person. Volfred's current best estimate that the revolution brewing will succeed. Okay, so we can fight the bird people. The Withdrawn. The Pyre Hearts. Withdrawn are fairly even. The Pyre Hearts are easy. And what was the third one? The bird people. What is your name again? Her. So she's also easy. So I guess we'll go to the Withdrawn. I was not in a hurry to cross paths with Udmildhi again. Turns out she's worse than I thought, depending on how superstitious you are. He reveals what he's learned of her and her designs. The witch Udmildhi, one of the bog dwellers and head of the Withdrawn, a triumvirate more interested in the legends of Yaslach, the astral born, than in the rites. Her kind was known to be reclusive in the Commonwealth, yet she was brazen in her disdain for common values. She practiced the unspeakable. Somehow, one day, her research into flammable reagents grew into an obsession with Yaslach, despite widely held belief that they're dead or never even existed. But Udmildhi held that they were merely dormant, and shall someday be reborn with newfound hunger, which could only be sated by devouring the world. Then at last could Yaslach return to his glorious home, and Udmildhi would go with him. When Commonwealth officials showed up to take Udmildhi in for spreading unrest, she was all too eager to comply. After all, a sentence to the downside meant being closer to Yaslach's resting place, where she believed she had work to do, and where the Withdrawn stood ready to assist. I don't know if we can stop whatever she's up to, but prevailing against her would slow her down. Anyway, good luck getting to sleep. See you in the morning. You bid Hedwyn a restful night. It's too late to take flight. You expect to press onwards come daylight. And we've got a new... Oh, okay, so the Day Planner is a new interactable. Sure, the book has some new things to tell us about. The accusers performed under Golthanian. He is a big man. He values justice, loyalty, and steadfastness. He says that the accusers take their name from one of his most accomplished legions, from his former military days. All among them served the Master General at one time. They represent the stoutest-hearted people of the Empire, who held true to Myr and Golthanian to the end. The golden colours of their raiments are reminiscent of their old shining armour. At least that's his claim. Ever shall they seek out those with the truest spirits and strongest sense of purpose to replenish their ranks. Bay seems to be in a happy mood, though she always seems to be around Jadariel, who is listening to her with patience. So I would just look within the sallow caps each daybreak for the morning dew to drink, and once in a while I would find maybe a stream to drink from too. Though I'd get very thirsty sometimes. I tried drinking tree sap once. It wasn't very good. It was really bad, I guess. She seems, beg pardon, to be discussing how she managed to survive in the downside all alone for so long. Jadariel watches her intently. Food? Well, food was harder to find. Because, well, it's a bit embarrassing, but I tried never to harm a living thing, you know. It makes me sad. Sometimes it is the way of things, I understand, and so I would eat as often as I needed to and tried a lot of different things to see if they were good. Most of them weren't. I got by. I learned to get by. I already knew how a little bit, because back home where I came from, well, I had to get by there too. Here it's harder, but not that much harder. Jadariel remains silent. as Bay trails off. Then she embraces Bay and holds her gently. Bay lets out a breath, but says nothing. Could I ask a question? Of course. How old are you, do you know? 19. How old do you think I am? Then you have seen a lot in not a lot of time. Know that what you have achieved is a feat. I've known seasoned soldiers who could not have lived through the experiences you have described. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so very much. You seldom see Bay so joyful as in this moment. As for Jadariel, you could count on one hand the number of times you've seen a smile play across her lips. You leave them to their conversation. Being here in Flagging Hands continues to sap most everyone's spirit. Launch. Zoom. Okay, so Gilman says we'd be able to pursue our vocations. Yeah, I like the idea of continuing our buffs. The Hulk of Ores is drifted here upon the sea for longer than one might expect. Perhaps you've already read of the doomed ship's demise in the embrace of unfathomed plurns. Some say it was the sea itself that preserves the ship's remains, hidden properties in the water, sea creatures binding together ruined planks of wood. Those such as yourselves in the Withdrawn know another truth, I gather. The stars wouldn't align over the wreckage if it didn't have greater significance than it first appears. May you have good fortune there during the coming rite. Land. You touch down on the Sea of Solace, where you first encountered Sir Gilman and the Pyre Hearts. You shall soon carry on by sea, though for now you have some time to spare. After having reached the boundless waters of Ragged Rock, you volunteer to survey the grounds. As you prepare to head out, your companions beat you to it. Hold, Master Reader! This knight and the good Pamatha should reconnoitre in your stead. They depart and leave the rest up to you. When they return with nothing much to report, you feel better and in the midst of deciding which of your vocations to pursue. Continue working on the buffs. Passive buffs all day, every day. Level 2 Hope bonus. Now there's only 2 more of them to do before we run out of passive buffs, unless they unlock an extra level. Okay. A messenger imp with news and rumours from the other side's managers to track you down in the murky waters of the Sea of Solace. The imp's latest information is about none other than Tizo, who you liberated. Everyone says he is the first creature of his kind to come to the Commonwealth. While his unique status brought him no shortage of prestige, he's experienced difficulty acclimating to the new environment. It seems he's grew quite despondent. Then, at last, he managed to track down Walfred's agents, with whom he was working to find a means to bring more people home. And so the revolution has grown stronger. He also left for you a special verbal message via his most trusted messenger, who rears up and intones, "Screehum." He wants you to know he's doing well but misses you, and hopes to see you again. You thank the messenger imp for the report and ask that it relay your kind regards. Your companions soon begin to talk in turn. Why that lucky little... It's so weird without your silly little moustaches. Okay, sure, I'm a little jealous of him, so what? Oft it is said that good things come in small packages, and Tizo stands as living proof. And living he remains, apparently. Good for him. If anyone or anything can change the Commonwealth, it might be Tizo. I guess this makes him an expatriate of sorts, ditching his downside home in favour for the Commonwealth. Who would have thought? Truly, once more it seems I've underestimated him and his resilience. I'm so happy for him. I wish I could have a friend like him when I was there. I look forward to our next reunion, Tizo, perhaps when we're back among the stars. The news of Tizo's adventures in the Commonwealth fills you and your fellow exiles with a newfound resolve. Everyone gains one hope for the next fight. So, temporary buff. The book wants us to read something. I wish to be remembered not for boastfulness, thus I refrain from detailing our exploits across the land, save to say that they were numerous. Know that only through our combined strength of arms and wit did we withstand the savage land. Such was the monstrous dangers that it posed. I came to see all the terrors which I heard at bedside in my youth were based entirely on fact. So great were they blotted out the sky. Such was the evil that we vanquished, that the remnants of it yet shine under the stars. And in the end, it was the stars which guided us towards our truest challenge. Ooh. Book still wants more. The solar shell, a sparkling thing in the center, is in fact its heart, which it airs out from time to time, a keepsake from the Sea of Solace. Only a monster would attempt to remove the heart, or would have the strength. And someone else has an upgrado fight? Who? Bay. Alright. We can try. The scribes. I think that if I listen carefully, I can hear them calling to me. Listen well, girl. The place you reside at present has but a single rule. You answer to me. Okay. Such naive enthusiasm. Be silent. It is plain to me that you have much to learn. But you have learned something, and I would see you prove it. Without the benefit of anyone else, save your reader. Are you okay to help me out there? Yes, I am. 3 of the explodey people, you say? Well, they get first blood. But they've got bigger aura than me. That makes this really, really unpleasant. Okay, first counter dunk. Two out of 3? 3 out of 3. Sprint, sprint, sprint. Using the stowaway, deal 200 damage. Ah, and it calls her that because her name is, ambiguous. Right? Because you choose her name. Got ya. Dunk. Win. How did I do? How did I do? I must admit you did better than I expected. You've passed your trial. Congratulations to you and your reader. Okay, and what's her special item do? Did I imagine all of this? I hope I didn't. What's it that you have there? Kaelma's amulet. Oh no, anklet. Rank 20? After Bay casts her aura, you can bounce off of objects and solid surfaces. The royal traitor's hollow band ensured the Sisters of the Ark were to carry out their mission. And the book has something else to say. Beyond a shallow, sickly gulf, our voyage grew increasingly forbidding, and much harder to explain. How could a sea exist here at the bottom of the world? We could not deduce whence sprang the carcasses of ancient sailing ships we found throughout the Sea of Solace, though the warnings that they signified we duly noted. It was here we first met Orez, called the Underking, who brazenly assaulted our small skiff, for we had trespassed in his waters. But then the Underking relented, for he witnessed Solam Mer in all his doom and glory. Soon he would side with us. Then, with the Underking, we sailed forth into a tempest beyond reasoning or measure. And the book says still more. The Das Raben was first of many river ships to vanish in the downside. Although presumptions of its loss were not inaccurate, the doomed ship and her valiant crew had charted half the Sea of Solace before the end of their brave voyage. The Sea Titan, unfathomed Plurns, was not fond of vessels sailing her sea, and split the doomed ship with a single strike. The ship's own shattered prow would later end the Sea Titan's cruel reign, as the boastful Underking loves to recount. The stars themselves must have been moved by this. That point within the sea, now sacred, has the stars dancing in homage every now and again. Okay, we've exhausted the book. Except that it's saying something else is here that I missed. Oh, we're meant to talk to Wormboy. Sir Gilman is fuming in anger over something, so much so that you are hesitant to approach, but nevertheless you do. Exile is too light a sentence for this night. He notices you and then seizes up. He begins acting nonchalantly as though his outburst didn't transpire. Greetings, noble Master Reader. What brings you to this knight this afternoon? Ask him if he's okay. You maintain a gentle tone and ask whether there's something he might wish to discuss. Could he perhaps benefit from talking through his woes? He stands there silent and dejected, but then, this knight cannot escape the horrors of his past. It seems that you would hear them. You have this knight's apologies ahead of time for burdening you with his troubles. Having said that, here are the troubles you requested. You are, of course, familiar with the siege of the Spiral Sanctum, the burned-down remains of the old capital of the Commonwealth. For this knight, the memory of it is like a wound which will not close. This knight stood there on the front lines whilst the High Wing remnants, the last surviving faction of the Winged Harpies, descended upon them. So furious was their assault that our chain of command was ruptured instantly. We of the Sea Dominion required orders to perform our duty. Without these orders, why, we surely make a very easy target. One by one and two by two they picked us off, becoming bolder, some of them shrieking with laughter all the time. This knight saw his comrades cast aside like sea flies. How did I survive? I don't know for certain, even now. Perhaps it was that I attempted to pursue and to detain my own knight commander, who you have met when you first met me. That cursed Sir Deluge. If not for his craven cowardice, the Spiral Sanctum might have held at least a while longer. But instead we were routed, rendered spineless both in form and deed. Sir Deluge was first to turn and flee as our chain of command crumbled. And as for this knight, he failed to catch his knight commander. He must have looked a coward too. Thus came the time for penance, and this knight, why, he insisted on the only course of action reasonable, a sentence to the downside. As you can plainly see, my wish was fulfilled. How absurd that we should re-encounter our old knight commander here. And so I became obliged once more to Sir Deluge. We took to the waters in the Sea of Solace, where soon we met the Pyre Hearts, a triumvirate exclusive to our kind. It is plain to see they lacked wherewithal, and Sir Deluge, they thought he could provide it, the leadership they sought, and his was too much of a coward That doesn't make sense. To decline. As for this knight, being of the Sea Dominion, he had little choice but to comply, or so at first we thought. When we encountered you in the Nightwings, something awakened within me. With so little honour left to lose and so much pain left to gain, it became eminently clear that this knight stood a better chance within your ranks than those of Sir Deluge. And there is little left to say. I cannot escape my past, and yet I choose to believe that I was spared not merely by coincidence. Perhaps under King Orez has yet a plan in store, in which I may yet play a part. I cling, however vainly, to this hope. And he slithers away, his head bowed low. It seems best to leave him for now. You sense he feels relieved at having shared his story. Okay, this is done. We're not any richer, so we might as well just go. Once more, you have returned to the Hulk of Orez, and your companions stand ready beneath a still night sky, awaiting the commencement of the riots. You overheard some of their words to one another as you await the signal in the stars. Our adversaries are to be the withdrawn, then. Let us make short work of them. You then observe a glint of starlight, and as it begins to shine above, and your companions fall silent.
Look forth, you exiles of the Nightwings. The eight scribes summon you to the Hulk of Orus. The adversaries you are to confront shall be the withdrawn. Whose ever pyre yet burns ere the break of dawn shall surge forward on the path to glory. Now, prepare yourselves.
Previous time, you snuffed our Pyre's flame. You won. This time, all for your slacked. No matter the result and no matter the cost. We can take them. Who's up for this one?
Who shall conduct the rites?
Drag Stardust to a talisman. I really do like this one, and I'm happy to keep upgrading it. But, do we prefer your thing? And who will we use? Arguably, we should use our original trio. Or maybe Sir Knight. It should be Knight, Bird, and... well... it should be Doggo. Knight, Doggo... these two are both fast, small aura people, so we should probably go her as the last one. Which then means now you need to be the get health back guy. You can keep your thing. This honestly doesn't seem that great. Okay.
Sir Gilman. Joe Dariel. Ruki. Very well.
We've got this. Hear us, you slack. Bring us your terrible power.
Begin.
Yow. Yow. Ooh, we almost got there.
The orb bathes
Holy.
the Nightwing's flame.
It all but teleported then. Yow.
A mere attempt.
Okay, they're all dead. Swap. Go. Dunk.
Crookie plunged into their pyre.
Holy.
Quite
Okay.
the turn of events.
No. Zoom. No. Zoom. Zoom. Close.
Beneath contempt.
But we've got a long cooldown on everyone coming back to life.
Udmilda plunges into flame.
And the enemy's jump seems to get really, really long.
The withdrawn banished to the last.
Dunk.
Jodariel doused the adversary's flames.
Yes, stand against us, begone, irrelevant to us or to our purpose.
Too bad for that one.
Okay, zoom. Dunk.
Pyre weakens. The two
Zoom.
triumvirates are neck and neck.
Zoom. Throw.
Sir Gilman flung the
Yep.
orb into the flame.
Good throw. Zoom.
Seems the Nightwings are a bit ahead.
Zoom. Throw. Grab. Redunk.
So it is.
One more and we win.
Now
Zoom.
into the ceremony.
Zoom. Zoom. Throw. No, too slow.
Dear.
But double kill. Oh, but then they get the counter dunk. Okay, that almost didn't go well.
Flames grow weak.
That's bull. We had full aura up and they came down on the ground next to us. They should be very dead.
Well, now that was exciting. No sign of the withdrawn for now. Poor Jodariel. Unfortunate.
One apiece. Win.
And it is done. The Nightwings prevail yet again. They somehow managed to scrape by despite their adversaries' efforts.
I miss his moustache. I didn't think he'd get rid of
The
it.
ceremony is complete.
You slack savors defeat. Thine ours he cares not.
There is much to learn from this experience.
No one levels
Till
up.
The next right.
Having overcome the withdrawn in a close contest, you find yourself back in the wagon, recovering from the ordeals with your companions. Everyone is exhausted. The lone minstrel pulls you aside to discuss some of the particulars of the rite's outcome. You find yourself having difficulty following. You feel weary from all the recent travels. It is no matter anyhow. Though I was just about to step outside if you'd care to join me. You follow him outside. Perhaps the night air will do you some good. And everyone is likely wondering where the stars will take us next. The stars shine for you, revealing the path ahead. Aoub lights, as does Joma and Lu. So, we may fight Tree Man, Dog Man, and other Dog Man. How do I like it? I was tricked into playing a sports game, FGs. The strongest of these is Wise Dog Man or Tree Man. Both are... Actually, Tree Man is slightly stronger. So I think we go for Tree Man. The controls are also slightly awkward. It feels like you should have multiple players playing. Tree Man. And I also think it would be definitely something you should play on the controller, but it doesn't seem to accept that my controller exists, so what am I to do? Your next adversaries are to be the Chastity, headed by H. Manly Tinderstaff. They would prevail in the rights, not for their own freedom, but for fame and fortune in the Commonwealth. You and the Lone Minstrel go over exactly what we know of the next adversary. He's the offspring of a semi-famous sap industrialist, born into wealth and lived in the lap of luxury, never having to fend for himself. When he came of age, he was offered a cushy ambassadorial position that required little more than a silver tongue to convince the Commonwealth he was keeping busy. He grew so proficient at doing nothing at all that he started spending all his family's riches to assert his fame and status. One day, he attempted to pay off the wrong individual, a particularly stern Commonwealth diplomat who turned him in and had him sent downriver. He was disappointed by all this, but saw it as an opportunity, for he knew well that, in the inner circles, there were those who had gone into exile and returned. Thanks to his connections, he tracked down the Chastity deep in Waking Wood. He finagled his way into the triumvirate using his well-worn skills. He in turn convinced himself that he would earn a position of great influence once he secured his way back home. He continues making hollow promises. A shame that this Manly and the Chastity are nothing like the scribe Lou Sklorian, and don't share his values. Now it's time we rested. You bid the minstrel good night and take your leave. It's too late to prepare for the flight. You will leave first thing in the morning. And we now have a window. In the common room, you may review various notes and observations about your fellow exiles. Ah, so this is how we can look at people's stats now. Sure, he's getting a little bit close to level 4. We still need to do these two, really. But they aren't going to earn any bonus experience at the moment, which is a bit sad. I guess we do you, and him. The book also has more to say. The withdrawn did spawn forth from the wild witch Milthy, in whose vigilant pursuit of the unknown and the unknowable I always felt a certain kinship, whether with the withdrawn were Milthy's kin by blood or merely worshippers. We trusted one another not to ask or care. What mattered was that Milthy chose the most audacious minds and stopped at nothing short of the impossible. Though ever distant, the withdrawn revealed to us such truths about the land which long lay hidden, even to one such as I. Their knowledge, ever waking into new-found depths of consciousness, they lead us all to better know ourselves. And then we're all done, save talking to you. Jadariel is explaining something to Nightworm. And so, feinting left against them proves to be reliable. They all lead with their right wings if they choose to strike. They're quick, but leave themselves quite vulnerable. Such sage counsel, madam. This knight feels emboldened should he ever be forced to confront the highway remnants in single combat. Pray that you never do. Being here, I suppose it is unlikely. She notices you then. Reader, the good knight, and I were comparing survival strategies we picked up on the blood border, reminiscing on old times. Indeed, the good Jadariel has volunteered to become this knight's master-at-arms, should we ever achieve our liberty. Together, and this knight humbly accepted. What? I said no such thing, and I owe you nothing. Oh, but the finest lessons are the harshest made, madame. This knight is overjoyed that you would thusly train him as your protege. Reader, spare me, please. You somehow managed to steer the subject back to tactics. The knight is most impressed with your familiarity with the finer points of being sliced to ribbons by the high-wing remnants, Master Reader. Sir Gilman and Jadariel continue to converse for some time. You sense that they are in good spirits, all things considered. There for them. Initiate 20 different conversations in the wagon. Campaign. Achievement unlocked. Okay. Zoomy time. Take off. Zoomy. Too far? Too far. Okay. What do we want here? We can land. Rookie wants to explore some pools, or we might find something valuable. Yeah, we'll go with human. You touch down in the heart of the Jamur Valley, where first you faced the Fate and the Dissidents. You briefly wonder where they might be now and how they fare. You now have a little time before you set forth on land. Something about the dusty wastes of Flatfall gives Hedwyn a strong intuition to explore the area. You take a look. Mind if I come along? There seems to be nothing in particular in the vicinity, but then Hedwyn raises his voice. Wait up, I think I spotted something. The object in question is lodged deep in the ground and bears the mark of the rites. You sense you may be able to secure the contents, but the mystic wards will not be easy to undo. Okay, we'll try. You focus your mental faculties on the wards sealing the box's contents. You are left exhausted, but the box lid unfastens. Inside there is a talisman, placed there by one of your predecessors in the rites from ages past. You discovered Star Splinter, a rank 10. When preparing to fling, you fling, basically, the rate at which the flingometer fills up is faster. The book also wants to nag us. The downside prairie first appears serene. It isn't. The soil there accommodates only the region's brutish native vines and overbrush. And the most likely food sources prove poisonous. Thus we journeyed further north. The climate there grew fouler to my senses, though the cur, Jamur, found it amenable. This sprawling valley, pocked with long evaporated lakes, gives evidence to the monstrosities which roamed this land. We found the region's western edge to be more pleasant on the whole. Therein we found sources of fresh water, whereas over to the east we found the edge of the land's most hideous decay. Okay, and unless you have something else to say... He looks as you approach. Hello, friend. What's going on? You point at his cooking tins. It's one of life's small comforts that we get to eat. Not a day goes by that I am not grateful for it, but there's only so much to choose from, whether here in the valley or anywhere else around. I was just having trouble deciding what to cook. We had fire caps again last night, and those never seem to sit well with everyone anyway. There's no more glopgil, not that anyone but Tizo ever liked it, and I feel like we've been having gutter crabs every day for months, so I'm not excited about that either. This is where you come in. No consulting the books or stars, just you and me. What am I making? You decide, because I can't. I know that you've got lots of serious stuff to think about, but so help me, no one's struggling to regain their freedom on an empty stomach. Fillet of slurg. Silt porridge, that sounds disgusting. Gutter crabs again. Okay, fillet of slurg. You express a preference for Hedwyn to cook up a fillet of slurg for you and everyone. He easily detects the hesitation in your voice. You can't mean that. I'm calling your bluff. Fillet of slurg it is. Don't worry, I'll make sure it's cooked all the way through. Lend me a hand, would you? You assist him in preparing it. The two of you get to talking about the past. Hail, Parabola. I'm well. I hope you're well too. The reality of cooking in the downside has a way of making him nostalgic. Life on the blood border wasn't that much easier than trying to get by down here. The high-wing remnants would swoop in at any time. They were so good at picking the worst possible occasions for us. The time they showed up and I was nowhere to be found, well, I must have told you about it. But, on the contrary, he hasn't revealed much about his past to you. Either way, I don't think I ever told you much about Fikani. Ooh, is this the person he loves? I was riding to relay an order and she caught me out in the open. She could have had me, but we stood there. I've never seen anything or anyone like her. You just got vaccinated, so you're a bit sick. You'll be watching from bed. Be nice and cozy. And her voice, she says to me, you ought to be more careful with your life. And I just say, well, I'm not normally the kind to say such things, but all I could think of was, it was worth the risk. She spared my life. And when we saw riders heading towards us, I looked at her, and she took off. And well, we just took off. I didn't want to leave her, and I didn't. Soon after I came back, I went off in search of her again. This time, though, the risk I took, a lot of people paid for it. The harps attacked when no one was there to raise the alarm. A few days later, Hedwyn the deserter was sentenced to exile. And now he's here to cook some fillet of slurg. Thank you, my friend. I'll take it from here. See you shortly. He seems more at ease after having spoken with you, and he has gained 2 temporary buff for the next fight. And his bio update in here is, we know now his crime. His crime was desertion. That sounded more like he was in love with her to me, but okay. Alright. Let's go. Face plant man again. En route to the Spring of Jamur, the wagon comes to a sudden halt. That does it! I'm leaving! The cause of Jadariel's outbursts becomes apparent. Well, reader darling, at least some of us know how to take a joke. Look, she was reminiscing once again about her soldier days, and I just happened to point out... Well, I may have suggested the fiery destruction of the Spiral Sanctum happened on her former unit's watch. Didn't it? Not that she would have made much of a difference had she been there. She ought to thank the saint that she was spared her exile here. I thought she held no love for your Commonwealth. I've never understood what it is your people saw in the dreadful place, but I guess I've hit a sore spot. I should probably apologize. She swoops off and there's no sign of either of them. You organize a search, but it proves useless. Jadariel returns as if nothing has happened, back to her calm self. Let us continue. I regret the interruption. Don't worry, darling. I've definitely patched things up between us. At least, I think I didn't make things worse. She returns to the wagon. You make ready to resume your travels, but make a note to follow up with them. And we actually arrive at Tree Man. Yes, except the wagon wants our attention. The book wants our attention. We rid the land of an impending doom, but faced another of its kind, for we knew that we were trapped. Yet for each danger we faced, for every failed ambush by Ark, we were met with gentle souls and kindred spirits in the downside, who deserved more than to fade from memory within this land. It was then the stars themselves showed us the way, delineating a great voyage across the sky? The sea. Near broken we became, but then, at last, a moonlit vision, that of the rights. Thus shall they say of us, the 8 scribes gave their freedom, so that we may yet have ours. The book wants to nag us more. Oft-times think the carpus of the hive titan, Bullanthus, shall be an everlasting blemish on an almost splendid bit of land. But Jamur, in his brashness, felled the monster with a certain flare. The moon shone through the ridges of the massive carpus, and shined upon the pooling ichor, turning it into the freshest nectar ever to be tasted. The spring shall flow eternally, and those who walk within it shall experience the resplendent glory of the land. The stars began to fall there in the spring, with regularity, and we know now how soon again that they shall do so, and we wish for you to see it for yourself. Okay, book is done. We can talk to you. Bird. You find Pamitha in the midst of a heated conversation. All I'm saying is we're limiting not only our own chances individually, but all your friends' chances as well. Jadariel seems to be considering whatever it is that Pamitha proposed. The harp here is suggesting that perhaps it would be best if I were to form an alliance with the ones whom I fought for the better part of my life. Just with me, I won't vouch for anyone else. How absurd. If we were in the Commonwealth, I wouldn't have stayed my hand against her. I can say that for certain. However, as Hedwyn would say, what happened back there, well, perhaps none of it matters whilst we're here. I'm willing to give it a shot. You mean you'd be willing to conduct the rites with me? Yes. Excellent. I knew you'd come around. I thought she'd never come around, but I suppose I ought to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm grateful for your open-mindedness. No need to let old enmities between our ancestors ruin things between us. Or the others in our little party, for that matter. Don't push me, Harp. We will see if the reader here is thus inclined to pair us in the coming rites. I'm willing to defer to them. You see, I managed to make amends. I doubt that doubtlessly will be getting on swimmingly in no time. They will now fight together in the future. And shop, but we don't have money, so shop is not useful. He has new things, though. One-off buff potions. Money for scoring. But I am too poor. Do I sell this to buy that? To earn the money to buy this back? You don't have enough gold. Alright. And then who are we going to use? We should use Bird. And Bay. And Human, it seems, based on who has bonus experience. In which case, I'd like to give Bird this, I think. The extra money for dunking. The shopkeep thanks us. Reader, I suppose you might remember our first meeting with Mantley Tinderstaff. He would be mortified, of course, if you forgot. I would say that he's an embarrassment to my kind, but unfortunately I know others like him. We are a discontented people, I suppose. When last I saw him, you might recall that I avoided him. We aren't good acquaintances or anything, but he knows enough people in high places that he could be harmful to our plan. should he know of my involvement. I will have to be discreet here. I can't hide from him outright. Perhaps, though, he shall take me for some common sap. Anyhow, it seems we have a rite to conduct. Get our harpsichord theme. Something else catches your notice in the sky. Strange new stars shimmering about. The greater titans have returned, some of them in spirit, not in form, but those dark stars are a portentous sign. Though they may light your way, beware the path which they illuminate. You may invite the influence of the star titans. Use them for a greater challenge.
Behold the Titan stars.
You're slack. Call upon them to rank up faster. The limbless Arazek or Endriga the Widow. Now, I've got to find out about the Cthulhu thing. How could I not choose Cthulhu? Now, we could lose and get nothing. That is the risk by making it more difficult.
Remnants of monstrosities felled by the scribes themselves. Dare you to stand against them in their fury? Dark is the knowledge that you seek there, reader. Best focus on your adversaries, keen as they are to confront you once again. Put out their pyre first, and show them the glory of the Night Wings. Now then, make ready for the rite!
My, what have we here? Have you come to grace us with your presence again? You think you can simply cut us down like last time? Let us indulge him. Perhaps he will reveal something we could use. Just keep him talking. And my, the colour of your raiments. They're rather gaudy in this light, I have to say, though no offence is meant. Do you suppose the rite is to commence? As much as I enjoy our chats, I do have to be going soon. If you must know why, because I'm expecting an important message from the other side, no less. Come dawn, I hear something is brewing, some sort of unrest. It's an important message sent all this way by one of those imp couriers. I must say those little things, well, their services aren't cheap. Though I'm sure that I could get a good deal on their services. If you wish, perhaps to contact a loved one back home. All I ask is that you stand aside and let us prevail. I've a date with destiny not long for now upon the fall of Solium. He continues talking until at last the rite is set to start. Okay, plant guy. Look at this wonderful assembly of exiles, come from all different corners. What a colourful retinue you have. I heard the most preposterous rumour that you were harbouring an especially notorious criminal, one who had designs on the Commonwealth himself. He looks right at Volfred. I couldn't imagine such outlandish tales could possibly be true. So I would like to meet everyone. Hello, good Nightwings. I am H. Manly Tinderstaff, and truly it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Manly has intruded on your privacy as you set to choosing your triumvirate. He could not be less welcome. He seems to be searching for someone in your ranks. Ask him to leave politely. Why, yes, of course. I was just taking the opportunity to bid you all the salutations, for I so enjoy getting to meet my fellow exiles. There may be rules against this type of thing, but who's keeping count, am I right? I'm sure the scribes wouldn't mind. Anyhow, now that you mention it, I ought to get back and check on my colleagues. See you shortly, and good luck.
Now let us get started.
Okay. So, not her, not you, maybe you, not you. So it should be bird, girl, and human. Bird wants dunk thing. I guess I'm giving you the money thing. And human can have his unique thing. In order, I want bird first. then human,
Headwind.
then other human.
Bay. Now.
Manly reminds me of the kinds of people who were unkind to me back home. Are you quite ready? I doubt you are. Besides, my colleagues of the Chastity and I have a trick or two. We think she'll take you by surprise. Just watch.
Begin.
Flap. God, that tree's aura is huge. Okay, we got 2 of them. Okay, can I flap it in? No.
Sorry, Manly.
God, his aura is just obnoxiously big. There we go.
From afar into the Pyre's flame.
We throw it in. Okay, it looks like I might be able to sprint around. Yes. We haven't actually gotten to use Bird's power, though.
Ouch. Now go. Oh.
I should have used W. My bad.
The flame is stricken. The orb.
Okay, flap, win.
Resplendent.
Sprint, win.
Plunged into the pyre.
2 more. That didn't quite end as I would have hoped.
All of the Nightwings back. Their aim was true, and thus.
Yeah, we're still ahead, I'm not worried. Okay, flap.
Oh. There.
Oh, I have to spam flap now.
Deliverance.
Okay. It could have explained that when we got the new upgrade to flap that you have to spam it. Perhaps you're merely toying with me. Well, all of this is very, very funny, but now stand aside and let me wrap this up. Won't you? Won't you?
That manly Tinderstaff has such a mind for politics. Would that he focused on the rights. And it is done.
Victory.
Wings prevail. Meanwhile, their adversaries wallow in defeat. The right is done.
My word, how could this happen to me, you deceitful, ignorant, uncouth pack of fools? Have you any idea what you've done? Walfred watches the outburst in silence. Keep spouting off like that and you'll reveal all that we need to know. You harbour such a fear in your heart, don't you? Coming from the aristocracy and now in exile, how they must speak of you. What would they think of you if you don't get out, or even if you do? He remains deep in thought. I see now. Then Volfred returns to the shadows. Oh, my head. Who? Oh, I believe there must be a mistake. I have to go. Ta-ta. Fine evening to you now. It's been a pleasure. He stumbles away in a stupor, and there he goes. I've lifted certain burdens from him for a time, a bit of mercy for his sake, and for my people's. As well, it should ensure he has no lasting memory of our encounter or running into me. Let's be off before he catches us up again.
The right do tend to teach something of trust.
Human almost levels up. Worm will level up, and Bird did level up. All in all, having to unlearn everything I've learned is going faster than expected. So, do we want... This does like an AoE wave after you do the attack thing, it will pulse. Or if you are killed after you have killed someone, you come back extra quick. I think I'd prefer the pulsing.
Until the next rite.
Though I don't know if I'm ever gonna remember to do it. I should probably have chosen the passive thing that just happens automatically. Back at the wagon, after defeating the Chastity, in a pitched battle, you're about to join the others discussing the outcome when Volfred finds you. Good work back there, my boy, though I'm afraid I must pull you away from any revelry. There's something you need to see. Join me outside. Look forth. The golden star reveals itself to us once more. Somewhere deep in the infinite dark, a single star shines brighter than the rest. Wait, it's time for the last one? Yeah, it's time for the last one. The rites are calling you again to the fall of Solium, where, among others, one of you will go free, should you prevail. It is as we discussed, the cycle of the rites turns more quickly. Perhaps the scribes have taken notice. Having more frequent opportunities to free ourselves isn't unwelcome for our plan. It's good for everyone, including the Fate. Who will oppose us next? No, Doggo! I think that's good, Doggo. Getting to Mount Alodiel ought to be easier. We should be able to make landing somewhere near one of the old monuments. Let us set forth at dawn. Soon everyone is off to rest, as best they're able, knowing that another chance at liberty for one of them will soon present itself. You want to talk? Something is troubling Hedwyn. You are not the only one. It looks like a case of broken heart to me. Reader darling, trust me. It's nothing. I think all the travelling is catching up with me. You don't make much of a liar. Now then, let's have her name. Or his. So obvious, is it? It is. Go on. He hesitates. Her name was Fakini. It was! It was! We were right. Fakini? Yes, she's from the mountains, the same as you. You don't mean Fakini Shang, do you? We feared her lost in the gorge. You know her? Come now, how many of us do you think there are? Your Commonwealth has been rather successful in scouring my people from the world. Yes, she and I spent time together in the past. We flew a few sorties. We were in different units. She was reconnaissance, if I recall. She said as much to me, but what happened to her? When you were sentenced, it was about a year after me, wasn't it? So, maybe you know something? She was alive and well when last I saw her. Got back from the gorge with a few scrapes and some good information. That was several years ago. Who knows what's happened since, though I must say she never mentioned you. I'm impressed she managed to keep secret your relationship. She would have gotten herself into real trouble. You keep her secret too, please. Oh, don't worry about me. Down here I'm in no position to betray anyone. And besides, I liked her, and you're not bad. Why, this is all rather sweet. I'm sorry, Hedwyn. I wasn't trying to make light. I wish that you would tell me more about her, though. I think that you must know her better than I. Sorry. Yeah, look, I'm sorry too. I didn't mean to get on your case. It's just I don't like to talk about it. It's a lot to have to explain. I understand. So, now that the awkward introductions are out the way, could you tell me any more about what she was like? Well, let's see. They talk for some time about Fakani, and about how such a relationship would have been seen in both the Highwing remnants and the Commonwealth. For Hedwyn, just knowing that Fakani still lives, or that she was alive after his exile, lifts his spirit. Anyhow, if you get out of here, or I get out, I'll have to seek her out. If I go first, I'll let her know you're in one piece and thinking of her. Thank you, it means a lot. Don't mention it. As the conversation widens down, they bid you and each other a good evening and go their separate ways. The shifting sands. And the book wants to nag us. The book says, "The stars shine strange beneath the sea. This one dared rise from the waters so that he could see them plain. The burning essence of those who came before. Our lives are but a quest to join the stars. This one longed to be the brightest, but in the downside there is one yet met? This one met those whose own stars shall doubtless burn at least as hot. Together we achieved great deeds. You may have seen some evidence of them. The remnants of the great titans which once darkened this dark land, but in our kinship was the strength to conquer them. It is this one's humble chance to chronicle those deeds, and may the titan stars never stain the sky during your time." Book still has more. "The foul name of the Star Titan is written there but once. Do not invoke it, lest you aid its reawakening. It sups upon despair and fear and doubt, and lands such as our own. 'Twas the mighty mistress Milthy which tracked the astral-born monstrosity within its loathsome pit, where it lay nursing wounds sustained from travelling across the stars in search of simple prey. The wicked astral-born could drive a lesser creature to the brink of insanity with a mere passing glance. But not Milthy. She cast upon the fiend 100 words of binding, each more binding than the last. With the creature's incandescent skin we bound the book, and bound ourselves unto the stars." The book yet says more. "The Chastity. Those bearing the name of Chastity all count themselves disciples of Luscorian, the 100 Minds, who firstly for his wisdom, but also cherished for his modesty, integrity, and kinship. Sklorian's priority in forming his triumvirate was to instill in all his subjects a deep-seated dependence and respect for the rules governing the liberation cycle. The cycle of the rites needs to be respected to be understood, and needs to be understood to be respected. Thus, the Chastity are emissaries of the cycle. Should they earn back their liberty, then they should spend enlightenment. They would spread enlightenment itself, and all of us would grow." The book is no longer nagging us. We may continue. Enter airplane mode. Zoomy zoomy. Okay, do we want to land in Emperor's Ascent, where Ruki will gain favor, or where Pamitha? We just used bird, so I guess doggo. You make landing on the sacred Mount Alodiel, upon whose summit the next liberation rite will soon take place. You wonder who among you may regain his or her freedom. Volfred finds you after the post-flight inspection. We shall have to take the rest of the trip to Fall of Salamium by hand. May we soon liberate another of our own there. That would raise the chances that our plan will ultimately succeed. Seek the harp scribe's favor. Later that day, you accompany Ruki into the splendors of the Emperor's Ascent, where a monument to Trieste Tithys awaits you. Perhaps due to the nature of this place, you begin to sense Ruki's inner thoughts, as clear as if he were speaking aloud. So, you scribe people, you can hear me, right? If you can, do me a solid and get me out of here already. My family can't do nothing without me, and they've been waiting for a while. Soon you and him are finished paying your respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Trieste Tithys has shown your favor. At dawn you begin your ascent. For now, the solitude here is fit for pursuing your vocations. Rookie gains extra bonus stats for the next single fight. And there's also something to do inside. We can talk to Doggo. You find Rookie having just put his Greentail family portrait back. There's something of a wistful look in his eyes. Something comes over him and he moves in close. Look, chum, I got a level with you. Truth is, I haven't been entirely upfront with you about my family's situation. We aren't quite as rich as I've been letting on. We do fine, and there's lots of money stored away. It's just locked up in savings bonds, and... He seems to catch himself in the middle of another tall tale and relents before you can respond. The situation is my mum back on the other side needs a bit of help, financially and otherwise. All she's got now are my knuckle-headed uncles to keep her steady. Always told her I'd make something of myself. I was just a clerk in a shop. Things started getting tough for us, so I looked into different kinds of work. I got into some unseemly sorts, I guess, but the pay was good, real good. We took to shipping certain types of stuff down here, of all places, flushing it straight down the river, watertight. The pay was right, Mum would have been proud of me. We were eating good all the time, but, well, you can probably guess what happened. Oh, sad doggo. I barely scraped by after they flushed me down here. Would have been food for a bunch of howlers had Jody not bailed me out of a tough spot one evening. As for my mum, she doesn't know the half of it. My uncles told her I'm away on business. Not entirely untrue, I guess, but if she knew, it'd break her heart. So I don't know how else to put this, but I want to get out of here. Back to what I was doing back home on the straight and narrow, though. I'd go straight this time for sure. Just don't tell anybody that Rookie Greentail's a mama's boy, okay? I've got a reputation to uphold. He quickly scampers out the door. His past weighs heavily on him, but you sense he was sincere about wishing to lead an honest life. Is there any of these to do? We can do Bird. Bird can get her upgrade, maybe. Let's have a go. You have to remember to spam fly now instead of hold it. Yeah, I'm your boss, etc, etc. That didn't quite work as intended. We killed one, but then they score nevertheless. And I was too slow on the dodge. Although it really feels like I should have gotten them in that aura then. Absolutely dominated. 3 for 3. Okay, then can I float in? Yes. Not allowed bounty here. Float. Got you. Flap, 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 flap. Flap, flap, flap. It's so silly now that we have to spam flap. I kind of regret getting the spam flap ability thing. There we go. Victory. What's her special item? No, if I hold it down, it doesn't work like it used to, Parabola. Happy as can be, my doubtless pretty harp. So good of you to ask. On top of that, your performance was sufficient. You have passed my test. Congratulations. Complete 5 scribe trials in the Beyond a Crystal campaign. Achievement unlocked. My, Sandra sure could use a massage or something. She's so angry. What do you have there? We have Triesta's Plume. While flying, after dousing an adversary's pyre, you may return instantly and do 3 extra damage. So if the enemy kills you after you've scored, you come back straight away. We still don't know a lot about her. Unknown, 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 unknown. But we can give you your new item. Now, there's a little risk that we're not allowed to do this, but I guess we'll find out. No, we are. Glory 1. And then there's only 1 more of these buffs to do. And then we're out of passive buffs. We have to start choosing the other options. Do we go to the Temple Cistern? Or... Human or Worm? Worm needs more levels. So I guess Worm? Like, Worm needs the levels more than Human? On the way to the summit, you pass a monument to the Under King Ores, and Sir Gilman happens to notice. You wish for good fortune in the coming rite. As for Sir Gilman, have this night's glory days gone by, he wonders. Perhaps you know the answer. Don't spoil it for me. He says little after paying his respects. As you continue your ascent, you sense that the Under King Ores has shown you his favour. He will have 3 glory for the next rite. You're once again at the Scribe's Gate, where a narrow trail leads up towards the summit, past the archway carved of stone. Come this way. The minstrel leads you there, where his counterpart awaits. The exiles of the Nightwings have returned. They have. Greetings, Celeste. She all but ignores him and motions to the rest of you. Now then, each of you in turn state your name and what it is that you seek whilst crossing the gate. Just do as she says. Everyone steps forth, one after another. Hedwyn, Hamatha, Sir Gilman, Bay, Jadariel, Ruki, and Volfred. No one is left but you. The Guardian regards you with a still expression. The scribes bid you welcome. Go forth with glory. You have our gratitude, Celeste. She pays him no heed. Again at the top of Mount Elodiel, from which the downside sprawls before you, you wonder whether one among you will follow Tizo from this place. Oh, we can't access the starometer, and there's nothing to do in here. We could go shopping. It's so cold up here. Why don't you buy something? Could buy 2 single rank up things. And then we are poor beyond measure. What will we spend them on? So I should actually use her. You and Jadariel. And who are we going to send onwards? He said he really wanted to leave. I like this one of the health recovery, so we level that up. We level that up. It only leveled up once, sadly, or at least the effect only leveled up once. Theory I should do you two and the worm. Tell your friends about us, says the shopkeep. The time has come for your second liberation rite to commence. You observe the lone minstrel and Wolfred speaking in hushed tones. You cannot sense the topic. Wolfred looks up at you. I trust you're prepared as possible. Each rite is consequential to our journey, but these have a more immediate effect. It's somewhat crass. I've gone and estimated by how much each of our companions may contribute to the outcome of the plan, should they be liberated here. Factors such as their previous occupation, innate tendency to lead, oratory skills. It's nothing personal. Besides, we ought to all return in time if possible. Know simply this, for each who goes, in doing so, he or she shall raise our total chances of success. Reader, sir, this night you shall confront the fate. They have already appointed Dalbert, yeah, good doggo, to be liberated should they manage to prevail. We all have faith in you, and lo, even the stars agree. Wait. Oh, I didn't realize you could do more than one at a time. Oh, no thank you. Start with 30 less, your opponents start with 30 more. Your opponents come back to life quicker. I feel like that's pretty harmless. But honestly, 3 doesn't sound like a big bonus. Oh, they're worth different amounts.
Endriga the Widow.
I mean, I think I'll be happily getting the plus 10 rather than the plus 3. Like, all the others only give plus 3, whereas this gives plus 10.
Nightwings have returned unto the fall of Solium, at which the scribes first formed their sacred union. At stake this night is freedom and prosperity. But only for one exile who prevails in this liberation rite. Your many adversaries all did strive to earn this opportunity. 'Twas the fate which earned it. Who shall be absolved is up to all of you.
The pyre burns, and each triumvirate is present and prepared. I concur. Then, anointed one of fate, come forth, declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries. The bent old cur, Dalbert, steps forward and struggles for a moment with his mask. Greetings, good heralds. I am Dalbert Oldheart. It is the greatest honor of my years to stand upon this sacred site upon which the 8 scribes anointed these glorious proceedings. We are honored to be in your presence once more. Father, they're our adversaries, not our hosts. We don't need to be so gentle. They'll do their utmost to keep you from your freedom. Your son speaks out of turn. Control him. My sincerest apologies, Chiasala, for his unnecessary outburst. Alma, please, we've worked towards this opportunity and we must make the most of it. He puts his mask back on. My son and I stand ready. Okay, Doggo Human. Who will we use? Only the enlightened may be anointed, and not all will necessarily be ready. Make our decision.
Who would you set free?
Okay. We are forced to choose one of the starting trio. I mean, Doggo just did give us our please set me free so I can help my poor sick mum speech. Now, whether he's being legit... Good choice, chum. Though if we get out of here, I don't know what you're gonna do without me.
Who shall stand with him?
Now... in theory, it should be you.
Sir Gilman.
By this knight's honor, he will fight with all his might. And either you... No, it should be her based on bonus experience. So, let's go look at what abilities our enemies have. Okay, if you're behind, you catch up. While you're behind, you catch up. While you're behind, you catch up. Human has double jump. Oh no, Doggo has double jump. Sun has... starts sprinting immediately. And Human has better stamina. Understood. Let us return him home.
The choice is cast.
Thank you for this opportunity. Let us strive to our fullest capacity with honor and grace.
Commence.
Okay, score 1. Zoom. Nope, they counter score. Oh, I had too much slidiness. Zoom. Zoom. Dunk. Hear us now, O noble Joma, for we beseech you, surely we cannot prevail without your aid. If you have ever heard my prayers, smile upon us now. Whether from his prayers to the scribes or simply his own resolve, something comes over your fellow exiles. If they are banished, they shall not soon return. Well, bugger. Zoom! And we recover some more of our own health. Zoom! That didn't go as intended. Oh, I thought our stomp was meant to stun people. And zoom. Two more and we win? Oh, well, we're both dead. You get your counter score. the other hand, we get to have all 3 people back again, which is rather helpful.
Righteous.
Sliding shot. But it was worth bugger all.
Shall be indeed.
That was worth a bit more.
No more than a lick of flame remains.
Zoom! Oh, too slow on starting the zoom.
Now to the flame.
Zoom!
All 3 night
Nah,
wings.
we're all dead. They get to counter score.
Disaster.
They need 2 in a row to win, though. Ew.
Dogger banished.
Zoom and dunk.
And there it is at last. The Nightwings proved their worth. Rather convincingly, I must admit.
Yeah, we still had 2 enemy dunks before we'd be dead, so I can accept that.
Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus, the scribes have chosen the exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free, absolved of all misdeeds, return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Rookie gets to go home. Alas, my son, I've failed you. Father, wait, what good is freedom if we would be apart? So, what now? I guess I'm supposed to jump into this waterfall thing and then home for home sweet home? Something comes over him. Listen to me, chums, don't any of you go thinking you're gonna miss me, eh? You're gonna do fine, even without old Rookie Greentail here to keep an eye on you. Even though the rest of you are just a bunch of slowpokes. Me, I'm gonna be so busy drinking myself silly on Commonwealth stock, I'm sure I'm soon gonna forget each and every one of you. But just in case I don't, you be sure to stop by and visit me if you get back too. Just look for Mama Greentail's shop, right in the heart of town, you can't miss it. Stop by and say hi, you know. I think I'm gonna go, so, excuse me. He drops into the shimmer pool and disappears within, although you can still hear him going on about something. Whoa, let me tell you, this is weird. It's starting... Wait! Rookie has earned back his freedom. May he return in glory.
The 8 scribes are ever merciful. By their grace, the cycle of the rites may soon commence again.
Human will level up next fight. Utter nonsense all of this, that we have come so far, fortune alone cannot be the cause. She can have... If she salutes, she does bonus damage. Pfft. No. She kills people by yeeting the ball at them. Sir Knightleton levels up. So grateful is this knight for the glorious occasion that he is giving strong consideration to performing here and now the forbidden dance of the Sea Dominion. Do we give him... When he has no friends, he moves even faster and has infinite stamina. No, I wanted to try this. I wanted to try the, if you salute, the enemies are stuck. Because 3 seconds is so long when you're that,
The 8
speedy worm man.
scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours.
Father, wait! Calm yourself, son. The rite is ended. But how can you be so calm? Did you strive this night with all your heart? Yes, but it wasn't enough. No, my son, it was enough. More than enough. You return to the wagon, having prevailed against the fate in the Liberation Riot. Such a glorious night this turned out to be. Our group grows smaller. You succeeded in liberating Ruki, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. We did what we could. With each rite, we strive to advance our plan. A brighter future awaits at the end of the path. For now, we persevere. I take it you've seen the stars, or the lack thereof, I should say. You have or did. Once more, the sky is all abyssal darkness. No stars illuminate themselves to guide you further on the path. Let us go to the Moonlight Alcove. I have an errand to run. Beside, once we arrive, best we recover now and make our way southwards at first light. But there's talking to do to Mr. Worm. Sir Gilman is uncharacteristically quiet. He salutes you with his tail. Glory to you, and glory to the noble Ruki. Greentail, long may he prosper in the Commonwealth, and in so doing may he benefit the plan into which we have all been thrust. He's then silent for a time. You sense him growing emotional. In noble Ruki this knight found a kindred spirit. One of questionable honour and the greatest cunning and blinding speed as to befit a minstrel's tale. This knight fears our triumvirate has lost something irreplaceable in him. Of course, this knight is also pleased that Ruki has achieved his freedom. And furthermore, we will continue training harder than ever before. Ruki Greentail! This knight shall train on until such a time as he is swifter than the jagged lightnings of the deathless tempest. Now, Master Reader, this knight must beg his leave of you, for it is time not for his rest, but for his training. Know that he is grateful for your wisdom and guidance. Between yourself and Master Ruki, you have instilled within him an unshakable resolve. He bows low and bids you good evening. And the book wants to nag us. From the top of Mount Elodiel, the downside may be seen in its entirety, or at least felt, since so much of it, of the land, is shrouded, but that is hardly all. Through the wondrous miracle there lies upon the highest mountain an inverted fall, whose waters crash not towards the sea, but rush towards the heavens. We speculate that these very waters which delivered us, but now bend backwards, seeking their return, as do we all. In this phenomenon can freedom be achieved, but only for the chosen, when the time is right. This is a path to freedom we cannot traverse, but which we leave open for you, so that you might strive for it. The book also wants to tell us the fate united under many Main, the Alpha Chief. He is brash, but follows his traditions. He prizes faith, discipline, and honor, qualities he seems to lack at first. He formed the Fate under the precepts of olden bylaws of his four-legged ancestors. They believed in a certain natural order in the way of things. Many Main wanted for the Fate to likewise show respect. Initially, he chose from other curs. He, however, urged the Fate to replenish their numbers from any race of or ethnic group thus willing. Thus shall they anticipate what is to come, with open eyes and minds, and never frown upon what is in store for them. And one more time, the book wants to tell us, in the words of Trestria Tithys, the Blessed-born, mercy is the beating heart of the truly free society. Mercy even from the perpetrators of the darkest deeds. As our liege, Salamian Mur, drifted in an ocean of regret, he found there mercy, or rather, it found him, and it saved his life. Mercy, freedom, they are intertwined. A society which raises a clenched fist against its own shall follow the doomed path of the Empire of Sa. Ours shall be a merciful society. May the perpetrators of the darkest deeds be sent to join us here, where they may learn as we have. Mercy shall engender union among all our different kind. We shall stand shoulder to shoulder, equal in society. Okay. And the book has stopped nagging us. We can go back to the map. Either... No, there is no other choice. We must go here for Tree Man. You once again find yourself amid the splendors of the Moonlight Alcove. Here you can wait the time until the stars deign to shine for you again. Beyond the border crystal seeks Sir Kagan. We've returned to the place of respite. Make yourself comfortable. We're at the mercy of the stars, but they shall shine bright again. I shall return by then, for there is something I must go do. There, from atop the sacred mountain, you gaze down into the abyss that is the downside. You wonder when the stars will align themselves once more. The plan of which you are all a part is set in motion. The Commonwealth, a nation that stood for almost 1,000 years, is in turmoil. If your companions return there through the liberation rites, what sort of place will they return to? Many moons pass. One evening, amid a downpour with no interest whatsoever in relenting, Volfred requests everyone convene. You understand he has an announcement. Soon everyone is assembled, and Volfred regards the group. Everyone, there is an aspect of our plan which I have not yet talked to you about at length. Look around at your companions. What do you see? He lets the question hang in the air. I'll tell you what I see in all of us. All of us, a living vision of the 8 scribes themselves, each one among them hailing from the different tribes which later formed the Commonwealth. My observation doesn't come from pompousness, I think. Rather, I believe that the scribes themselves desired, or perhaps desire, such a course. Together they created the ceremony of which we are now a part. The exiles, liberated through their rites, went on to found the Commonwealth, based on their values and teachings. Thus, an instrumental aspect of our plan is to embody the spirit and the culture from which the Commonwealth arose. That way, when all are united on the other side in solidarity, the people can see that we reflect the values they cherish in their hearts and not merely our own. We're still missing a key representative on behalf of Molten Mythe, and I happen to know a certain bog dweller who shall fit the part most splendidly. He motions them to approach. A certain bog dweller slithers forward, and you recognize her straight away. It is my pleasure to introduce you to a dear old friend, whom I believe you've met. Welcome, Bertrude. The bog dweller, called Big Bertrude, utters something guttural in the way of a greeting. So are we to understand that you require further aid? Yes, the time has come. Bertrude here is far and away the most accomplished alchemist I've ever met. You'll soon find that she knows much about the rites as well. She looks at you and your fellow exiles. We frighten you, apparently. Everyone is silent as she searches their expressions. Then tremble, small ones, and hold thy tongues, lest we remove them. She takes her leave without another word. Excuse her blunt manners. I guarantee she'll make up for it. Everyone disperses. It seems now that the ranks of the Nightwings are complete. She has joined the group. You sense her powerful presence. Now then, perhaps you notice the stars once more shine brightly, meaning it is time to get back to business. We can go to Haub, Milthy, Vu, and that is it. What options do we have? So, Demon Man, the Fish People, or the Harpies. The Harpies seem good. The Fish People are actually suddenly doing well. Oh no, this is them. No, they both suck. And what about Demon Guy? We were told Demon Guy is strong. Yeah, Demon Guy is at least more victories than losses. So I think Demon Guy wins. Looks like we're to face the Tempers again, which means Ignarius. He's probably angry we beat him last time. Hedwyn then offers you such details as he knows of our next adversary. A long-time resident of the Downside, as evidenced by his appearance, the strongest of the Tempers. He's waited for years to earn his freedom. Born to a middling Commonwealth family, he got into trouble early and often, but found his calling in the Commonwealth's not entirely legal red light district. There he took many jobs, mostly involving his sheer size. Most notably a bouncer, the Starry Eight, where he came to symbolize its reputation. One day, a particularly belligerent guest got under his skin, and he gave them a tremendous thrashing. The club's clientele all cheered. However, the guest turned out to be a wealthy chamberlain, who then exploited his connections to have Ignarius arrested and exiled 14 years ago. In the Downside, Ignarius dropped his given name as is sometimes the custom, and survived alone through his tenacity and strength. In time, he drew the notice of the Tempers, who revealed to him the riots, recruited him into their ranks, and let him work his way up. Now, at last, it is his turn. He might not be the nicest person in the world, but doesn't make it right that he was flushed down here with the rest of us. Anyway, we better get some sleep. You wish a good night to Hedwyn. Your travels shall begin at first light. The book wants to talk to us. In the words of Soleum Mer, last of his name, with the blackened nails do I hereby inscribe the rights of flame. The bylaws shall be written here in full. We, the Eight, decree the rights, a test of one's true worth in body, mind, and spirit. Now, until the stars abandon us, this shall be binding law within the Downside. Those deemed worthy are to regain their freedom from the Downside and return from whence they came. Exiles shall conduct the rites as one of 9 triumvirates and look towards the stars for guidance on their path. Exiles shall bear this book as status. And the essential structure of a rite shall be as follows. Where chosen by the stars, within the dark of night, 2 triumvirates stand in opposition, far enough afield beside their consecrated pyres, symbolizing their resolve. In each triumvirate, the 3 shall act as one, to demonstrate their trust in one another, not just in themselves. Triumvirates shall endeavor to extinguish the pyre of their adversary, whose flames are only to be staunched through a celestial orb descended from the stars. Whomsoever's pyre remains burning shall prevail. The triumvirates are then to disperse. We, the Eight, have seen the turning of the stars from now until the end of the age. Heed our guidance and theirs. The stars take many cyclic turns. The rites commence at their behest upon celestial landmarks where the Downtide's greatest titans fell before the heavens. Hearing this, the book bestowed on your triumvirate, you, the reader, shall perceive under which stars you are to congregate. Follow where they lead, as your adversaries shall. If either of you fails to appear, then neither walk the path. Whether you prevail or fail, from that point the stars shall guide you on. The rite shall not commence until the necessary preparations are complete, at a celestial landmark before the stars align. Exiles conduct the rites bearing this book, of which there are but 40 copies, each bound in astral hide. Exiles shall wear the sacred raiments fashioned in our likeness at the summit of Mount Alodiel. Their identities are to be concealed, for they shall represent us all. Exiles shall set a metal sigil for their pyre, and consecrate the grounds using the words the 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours. The heavens will respond when all is set. During the rite, each triumvirate will act as one, unerringly and without question. The disobedient shall suffer banishment or permanent expulsion. Exiles shall move as of a single mind to demonstrate their faith and recognize that they, as we, the 8, cannot prevail alone. Their worth shall be determined both by their actions and their peers. Triumvirates lacking experience in this may designate a reader, whose focus on this book may help the others to coordinate. However, only those who shall conduct the rites firsthand shall walk the path towards enlightenment, and become eligible to regain their freedom. In the words of Solmium Mer, last of his name, at the appointed time, at the aligning of the stars, the heavens shall rain down upon the ground sufficiently prepared, and thus the two pyres shall set ablaze. Thus shall commence the rite. Triumvirates are to protect their pyres as they would their life-blood. Life-blood itself is never to be shed before, during, or after any rite, lest the disobeyer suffer permanent expulsion. Exile is injury enough. The rite is an act of mercy. Fear not the purifying flame. Plunge into it headlong and without fear, for you shall be protected by the stars themselves. Seek freedom in the flame. Holy moly, how many are there? Exiles bearing the raiments and this book reveal their hidden inner aura in the colour of their flame. The aura is the exile's solitary weapon in the rites. Should one's adversary cross one's aura, they will be banished. Banishment is fleeting. Seek the pyre's light and thus make your return. The exile's presence shapes the aura. The exiles gain greater aura whilst standing side by side with their triumvirates, for we gain strength together. Exiles may cast their aura through force or focus on this book. As the two flames are lit, so shall the celestial orb fall from the heavens. But one such orb shall be availed by the stars, requiring triumvirates to vie for it. Its cosmic connection to the flames, the raiments in this book, bestow the necessary qualities for its bearer to prevail. Effortlessly sails the orb between the three in a triumvirate. It seeks the grasp of whomever acts among the three. Once grasped, it shall draw within it all the bearer's aura, fueled by the triumvirate's own flame. It is to be cast into the flame. At each rite we will gain enlightenment, whether we prevail or fail. Indeed, through failure we do tend to learn the most valuable lessons, provided we survive. None among us have prevailed without end. Exiles who walk the path towards enlightenment shall at times be struck by an epiphany, and achieve mastery in some respect. Choose well amongst the blessings we bestow, thus you may yet achieve your potential and surpass your adversaries. Whenever you prevail, your triumvirate earns favour. In time, the triumvirate with the most shall be summoned to the liberation rite, to earn a chance at freedom. Then the cycle begins anew. The liberation rite takes place upon the fall of Somnium, under a blooded moon witnessed by the heralds from the stars. There the most favoured triumvirate shall confront the one which we appoint. The two triumvirates shall pass through the scribe's gate, where their worth will be assessed under the stars. Only the most enlightened within each triumvirate may be anointed for the chance at freedom. Two of their companions shall support them while they strive. The anointed champion, which prevails, shall plunge into the shimmer pool and return in glory. There's also Bertrude's Decks. Unusual etched cards depicting the greater titans, probably for curses and enchantments, and we can talk to her. You find Big Bertrude looking around the black wagon in a disapproving way. She fixes her gaze on you, and her expression doesn't change. Such a clutter added to this wagon. Since we last looked upon it, it is unsightly. We remember thee from our abode in Flagging Hands. Then thou must be the reading one to whom Sandalwood referred. She moves in close, studying you. You recall that the mere touch of a crone can induce paralysis or worse. That one such as thee can extract meaning from the tome, 'twas a feat we wished to witness for ourselves. Thy flesh has seen but the smallest fraction of the years which ours has withstood, and yet we are expected to believe that thou can understand the Book of Rites. She backs away. Someone else has joined you. Hail, Bertrude, madam. Is everything to your liking, or is there something that you require? We've been unable to locate a supply of rot worm gizzard extract. Other than that, we lodge no complaint. It's possible Volfred has a small supply. If you would care to accompany me, we may procure you some. That is okay. After you, ma'am. As they depart, you see the minstrel nod his head your way. And I guess we have another upgrado thing? Yes, Sir Wormington. Let's have a go. Oof. The apparition appears, she does her usual, you answer to me. Your Highness, I like the sound of that, though flattery will get you nowhere. Demonstrate your competence. Of course, I accept your challenge. Go on. Enemy scores one. No! Quickly! I don't know how I meant to use him to kill when I need to go past the enemy to use the zip backwards. Yeah, that's kind of bullshit. We were both unwilling to actually pick it up. There we go. Okay, I tempted them far enough away. One more and we win. Oh. I had no idea where I even was. I thought I killed both of them. Victory! A close victory, but a victory. Huzzah! The knight prevails! Your performance was sufficient. Congratulations. This knight is humbled at having passed the sorceress test. What, by the scales of the Under-King Auras, what do you have there? Why, we have literally one of Aura's scales. Gilman jumps 30% farther than usual. Okay, we pick where we go next. You rise early in the morning, although Bertrude is awake, she scowls at you. Good morning, reader. Bertrude, I must trust that your stay has not been too uncomfortable. The comfort of this place are not for us. Fly us forth to lower ground. Let us get on with it. Once the group is ready, I thank you for your patience. Zoom. And zoom. Alright, do we want Needlefield? I'm not interested in your alchemy, so we'll go this way. The wagon touches down in the Black Basin, where you first met Volfred and Pamitha. You briefly wonder of what might have happened had your paths not crossed, as you consider what to do with the remains of your afternoon. The book wants to nag us some more. The continent we call Black Basin shall one day tear itself apart. Arriving upon blackened molten crags, tolerable only by the harp Trieste, we pressed onwards towards a suffocating wood. The land felt to us somehow primordial. Deep in its roots and noxious crevasses lay innumerable clues as to its ancient history. We had little time to excavate for our supplies. By then, were thin. Furthermore, we were lost. Our best attempts at circumnavigation had all failed. It was Lou Sklorian who reached out at last, under the stars, and they revealed the way. Then we at last could see the sacred mount, Alodiel, there in the distance. Volfred is poring over his copy of the Book of Rites as you approach. He looks at you and smiles. The road to freedom, written in a book that hardly anyone believes exists, and fewer still can read or comprehend. Sometimes I marvel at how absurd all of this is. Tell me something. I've spent so much time considering the book, but know so few with whom I could discuss it. You've had some time by now. What do you think? Is it worth all the fuss? Yeah, it's fascinating. Why not? You tell him that you're fascinated, you've never seen anything quite like it. He nods slowly as you describe your experience. I share the sentiment. To have it in our possession, a genuine artifact from a forgotten time, how much of it is true and how much of it is the scribe's retelling of events. I find it fascinating, I must admit. It is amazing that these volumes have survived all this time. Whatever they are made of has withstood the ravaging effects of time well. And the ideas that they contain remain provocative as well. To think that the Commonwealth disavows of the existence of this book despite official recognition of the scribes. Although the reasons why are in there written plainly. How fascinating that its secrets have been kept for all this time. You'll have to excuse me for my extracurricular interests in its teachings. I used to teach a version of its history. To have access to the real thing has brought me no small pleasure. Let us be certain to preserve these volumes for whomever shall use them next. How are we doing? You are about to level up. You have. You are a fair way away. You have no bonus experience. You do. And good lord, does Bertrude have bonus experience. She has a whole level. Like more than one level. Possibly 2 levels of bonus experience. Not applicable. And he has no crime. We still don't know much about you either. Or you. Alright, but starting Season 3 of Sports Ball, we'll have to wait for next time. The only thing that I would like to know is, does it give us our chanceometer? Where was that? Here? We're currently at 39%. We went from 24 to 39? So we gain about 15 per person? So we should get over 50% chance of winning with our next cycle, if that stays the same. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that'll do. Join us for Season 3 next time. All right. It is quite nice that these have gotten quicker. Like, if you had to do the whole walk through every single section again and again every season, I would have probably said it's way too grindy. But the way that they've sped up this so that you don't have to do that for the later seasons is very much appreciated. Anyway, that will do it for it and for me for today. We will remind everyone that... Oh, there we go. That tomorrow, and also Monday, myself and Miss Morrigan Nightshade will be doing the next in our Senior Detectives Let's Play series. The final Sherlock Holmes game, we are up to Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. A little odd for the last game to be called Chapter 1, but there it is. Who can we throw you along to that I know and respect? Pisces is up. So yeah, I'll probably play some little... maybe some little retro thing tomorrow until it's time for Senior Detectives and then Senior Detectives. Till then, peace all. Cheers for hanging out. I hope you have all had a lovely time and have a lovely day.